All right, here we go. Looking at Revelations chapter 2 and Revelation 17. We're going to be talking about the mystery of idolatry. Why is it necessary to make people idolaters before you can control them? They have to be idolaters first, or you can't control them. So the devil makes sure that he sets up a system of idolatry and the worship of false gods in order to control the masses. You can see that's very, very germane to now how he's doing society. He's making a system of idolatry first in order to rule it. I was looking at my son's ticket to get into the senior prom, and this is the ticket for the senior prom right here. It's called Egyptian Allure, with this pharaoh symbol on top of it. So it's all about this Egyptian worship of false images and false gods. You know, they just promote this real heavy. If you follow the schematic of hip-hop music and rock and roll and all this kind of stuff, it's all about the worship of false gods. Really, the music industry is just nothing more than the worship arena for idolatry. All they do is just turn the people toward idolatry and worship false gods, so that the world can be controlled by Satan. Because Satan cannot control you unless you worship him. So he has to find a way to make mankind worship him without mankind knowing they're worshiping Satan. And his mastery of this art is to create a media presentation that seems like it's not doing it to you, and you're not doing what he has you doing, but you never can connect the dots unless you figure it out. So Revelation chapter 2, the church of Thyatira is being talked about here. Revelation chapter 2, if you begin at verse 18, he says, to the angel of the church in Thyatira write, this is from the NIV, these are the words of the Son of God, whose eyes are like flaming fire, and whose feet are like burnished bronze. I know your deeds, your love and faith, your service and perseverance, and that you are now doing more than you did at first. Nevertheless, I have this against you. You tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess. By her teaching, she misleads my servants into sexual immorality and the eating of food sacrificed to idols. I have given her time to repent of her immorality, but she is unwilling. So I will cast her on a bed of suffering, and I will make those who commit adultery with her suffer intensely, unless they repent of her ways. I will strike her children dead, then all the churches will know that I am he who searches hearts and minds, and I will repay each of you according to your deeds. Now I say to the rest of you in Thyatira, to you who do not hold to her teaching and have not learned Satan's so-called deep secrets. You have not learned Satan's so-called deep secrets. I will not impose any other burden on you. Only hold on to what you have until I come. To him who overcomes and does my will to the end, I will give authority over the nations. He will rule them with an iron scepter. He will dash them to pieces like pottery. Just as I have received authority from my Father, I will also give him the morning star. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Now notice how he continuously says that with every discourse almost through Revelations. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. The Spirit is saying to the churches. Because this is an unseen, hidden mystery that's being revealed in Revelation. He's actually taken the curtain and pulling the curtain back to reveal what the hidden mystery is of all these ages that we've seen live through on earth. What's really behind the scenes that's causing all this problem. And so he says, you allow that woman Jezebel to seduce my servants and to have them eat things sacrificed unto idols and commit adultery or fornication. That's the problem on earth, that this thing is allowed to seduce and lead into sexual immorality and to defile people. And what's causing it is idolatry of a hidden mystery religion. It's a mystery religion that's being worshipped, and people are ignorant to the mystery religion until it's revealed. Now look at Revelation 17, and you get a revelation of the mystery religion that's worshipped in a stealth, unseen fashion. Revelation 17 verse 1. One of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, Come, I will show you the punishment of the great prostitute who sits on many waters. With her the kings of the earth committed adultery, and the inhabitants of the earth were intoxicated with the wine of her adulteries. Then the angel carried me away in the spirit and into a desert. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names, and had 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, you can go back to Revelations 12 and Revelation 13, and you find that same dragon. Remember the dragon of Revelations 12? 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns on 7 heads. Revelation 13, you had the beast coming out of this environment. It would look like a leopard, and it had the attributes of a bear, a lion, and some kind of in Daniel chapter 7 it's called another kind of fierce beast that you couldn't tell what it was. And then you find out in Revelation 13 it's a dragon. So you got that sinister mixture of a lion, a bear, and a leopard. It's revealed in Daniel chapter 7 through chapter 9 that the lion is Babylon, the bear is the Medo-Persian Empire, and the leopard is actually Greece. Fast forward to Revelation 13, you got the same 3 animals again, the same 3 beasts, lion, leopard, bear. So now you got an amalgamated empire now made up of the Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, and the Grecian Empire. And then it said in Daniel that the 4th beast is like no other beast that you've ever seen. And that's the 4th empire, which is Rome. And Rome actually is an amalgamation of all the empires previous to Rome, and they all come together in this sinister mixture of a Roman Empire. So the dragon empire is the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire seems to have gone away, but it controls the whole world. All the architecture you see in Washington is Greco-Roman architecture. It's a mixture of the Greek and Roman architecture that was prominent and that filled the Roman Empire. One of the things that the Romans made popular was a column. A column on a house, or on a temple, or on a government building. The Roman columns they're famous for that, and they had a lot of intricate detail around the Roman columns and around the different arenas they built. If you go to Washington, you see that same detail architecture, that same intricate stuff, because they were paying homage to gods through architecture. If you notice, the architecture was actually embedded with gods. That's what all that stuff you see on the architecture is, little old images of Cupid and Mars and Mercury and Apollo, and all this stuff had meaning. And they built a lot of these phallic symbols, and that's what the Washington Monument is. It's nothing but paying homage to the sun god. And it's actually built in the form of a penis, saying that the earth is actually having sex with the sun. And it's paying homage to that phallic symbol, which is an intercourse between the gods and earth. All of this stuff is not just helter-skelter. Everything we're looking at has meaning. It's built and it's done a certain way, and it's paying homage to these ancient gods. And modern people, the contemporary culture is ignorant of what it's all about and where it came from. So you got this conglomeration of Rome, Greece, Medo-Persia, Babylon, all of it mixed together, and you get this beast system. And you notice now that the beast and the harlot are separate, but they interact with each other. The woman rides atop the beast, and the Bible says that they commit fornication one with the other. They have a communion going on, and it's all about controlling the people. It intoxicates the people, it makes the people drunk, and the interaction between the beast and the woman is what the devil uses to control the whole world. If you don't know that, you'll go to church thinking you're going to church to worship God, but in fact you're not worshiping God. This is an idolatrous system of worship of fallen angels and gods of the it was a book a lady wrote years ago. They made a DVD about it too, called The Gods of the New Age. I don't know if y'all remember seeing that. The gods of the New Age, and who these different idols are that's being worshipped in the modern day religious systems. But the Bible reveals this right here. And in Zechariah chapter 5, we'll look at that in a minute. It tells you the mystery of what it is that's being worshipped. So you see now, the angel carried me away in the spirit and into a desert. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names and had 7 heads and 10 horns. Again, Revelations 12, 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns on 7 heads. Revelation 13, it changes. 7 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns on 10 horns. Revelation 12, 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns on 7 heads. Revelation 13, 7 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns on 10 horns. I think the change up is from universal empires and governments that we've seen that came forth from Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Greece, Medo-Persia, Rome. It changed from empirical rulership through war. Remember now, every empire that has ruled the earth ruled it through military domination. Their military made them the strongest nations on earth. America was supposedly the last standing military might superpower on earth. So now what is happening is the forces of the economic czars, the world bankers that rule the earth, they're diluting America, and they're selling America off to different parts of the world. China has bought in and bought a large portion of the United States. The housing market is crumbling in order to dilute. See, they're dividing the spoils right now. They're divvying up America to the highest bidders. And the American people are sitting here with their mouths hanging open talking about how is this happening? How is this? What's going on? Well, come on. They're divvying up the spoils. They oppress American people through debt, knowing the debt couldn't be sustained. They knew that when they put everybody under debt. It was all a plan. Then they collapse it, and they say, okay, all the bills are due. Nobody can pay them. Ford can't pay it, GM can't pay it, Chrysler can't pay it, the banks couldn't pay it, all the debt holders couldn't pay it, all the folk couldn't pay it, so now it's collapsing, and nobody wants to believe it's collapsing. 3 million homes are scheduled to be foreclosed on this year, to add to the ones that have already been foreclosed on. I mean, the market is saturated already with property. Now they're talking about the malls are collapsing because the guys that ran 200 malls in this nation have filed for bankruptcy. And that's South Lake Mall. It's the big malls. It's not these little jagleg malls. It's the large malls that have tenants inside the malls who can no longer pay their rent because no customers are buying. You see, it's a domino effect. No customers buy. The tenants have no funds to pay their rent. You can't pay the rent. The mortgage holders and the people who have leases on the malls can't get paid. The people who own the malls who are actually in debt because they're servicing debt through the payments of the tenants in the malls. They don't own the malls. They got a mortgage on the mall. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what's happening is debt is being served all the way up the food chain. Right now, on June 1st, General Motors owes a $1 billion payment to their debtors. They don't have the money. Why? Nobody buying cars. You see, everything is contingent upon the inline consumer buying something. If you don't go to the store and buy a pair of underwear from Walmart, it's going to reverberate through society, because Fruit of the Loom needs you to buy the underwear in order to restock Walmart. Now, if you stop the buying of the underwear, it's going to back up. It's going to constipate the economic system, because it's no release. It's just like somebody constipated in their bowels. If you don't release that stuff out of your bowels, you're going to start constipating and getting sick. That's what's happening to America right now. It's getting sick because it's constipated. The inline user, it's kind of a graphic analogy, but it's the truth. The inline user is not relieving the pressure of the economic system because the people don't have the money to buy. When you give them a tax break or they get some extra money, they service their own debt. They don't go and buy a new car. So General Motors is shutting down 13 plants, I think, for 9 weeks. Now, okay, you got auto parts suppliers who hire people to make car seats for General Motors. They make bumpers. See, General Motors doesn't manufacture the car parts. They put the parts together. So every supplier that supplies a car part for General Motors is filling it. If you shut down those plants, you're going to just back up the system. And it's going to lay folks off who have mortgages that they cannot pay, and they're going to go into foreclosure. You're going to flood the country with homes that nobody can buy, and you know what's going to happen. Now, you don't have to be a genius to figure out the way to remedy this. You look around the world, and you open your borders up, and tell these folk around the world, we got a lot of empty houses, come get them. And they're going to come from Darfur and Saudi Arabia and every country on earth that you got some cash. They coming right here. In that house next door to you, you're going to see Sheikh Mohammed Jamal moving into that house. Now that's what's going to happen. The country getting ready to be sold down the river. Where's it going to be invaded from according to the Bible? From the east. God is loosing invaders from the east. This is beautiful. This is all beautiful for me. I'm drinking a cup of coffee, relaxing, enjoying all of it. I want to see this go down. See, the nut roll kook is trying to save it. That's the patriot that's sitting there as a right-wing conservative Christian that's trying to enlist Sarah Palin as the savior. Needs to be at home with her daughter. Daughter having a child out of wedlock. The boy has abandoned her. Now he's making his rounds on talk shows, talking about her. And now Sarah Palin needs to be at home with that girl, that baby, her own baby, who is a special needs child, another little daughter that needs to be raised. See, you trying to be the governor and run for vice president and president or whatever you're trying to do, and your family's being thrown under the bus. That's the very imagery of the decline of society right there. The woman wanting to lift up at the expense of the family unit. If you had a heart of a mother, you turn toward your children, you resign the governorship and say, I got to take care of my family. My family going under. My daughter pregnant and didn't even finish high school. I got a special needs child I just had a few months ago. My home looks like the pit of hell. And now you stand in front of a rally with a bunch of guys looking for a champion for justice and to lead the Republican onslaught to retake America. And you got this woman with a family falling apart as your champion for justice. Somebody need to take every guy in that room and slap him upside the head. Why won't one of you raise up to be a person of authority and leadership? Don't have the legs for it. And they keep talking about she's a real babe. What does that have to do with the war, man? You're trying to lead a warfare. You're trying to get... It's crazy. This is what we got, though. There's something that's happening over here in this country. It's crazy. But it's a reason why they rally behind Sarah Palin. That's just not helter-skelter. That's happening for a reason we'll talk about in a minute. A beast. 7 heads. 10 horns, 7 crowns on 7 heads. The universal military might of all these different empires that rule the earth with military force. Babylon ruled through military might. Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, before them, Assyria, Egypt, going on back in time to every ruling empire down through history. Military might did it. The Roman army, Pax Romanoff. Nobody could stand against them. In the day of Greece, lightning warfare came through Greece. Do you remember Alexander the Great was like a leopard that went forth? He was like shown as a ram that didn't touch the ground. His military might. He was a brilliant strategist in military strategies and all kinds of tactics. He was brilliant. So he couldn't be confronted and stopped. Alexander the Great was one of the greatest military minds to ever live. With other guys like Napoleon, Patton, different military minds, all down to Eisenhower. These guys were strategists. They could plan out and carry forth a military assault and win. So military might has always been honored, and strategists has always been lifted up as being these brilliant guys who could conquer and take land for their particular empire. So that's what you had ruling the earth. That's why the 7 crowns were on the 7 heads. There were 7 empires, empirical rule through military force. But strangely, in Revelation 13, the crowns change. Still the 7 heads, still the 10 horns, but the crowns are taken off of the heads and put onto the horns. And I think you're looking at the birth of the New World Order. It changed from military might that rule to economic czars that rule. They don't have to rule now through force. They rule through economic dependence. So the crowns change from the military mights and the generals and the authorities of the military to the economy. You see, they're ruling the world now through economic turmoil and economic dependence. And I'm looking for shortly 10 economic zones to be established around the world with 10 economic czars. Now, the Bible says in Daniel, out of the midst of those 10 economic czars, and those 10 horns, he saw rising up out of those 10 horns what he called one notable horn that rose up, that became an authoritative figure that ruled those economic zones as the Antichrist. And now I believe what's happening is the world is a boiling pot. It's a cauldron right now boiling as they make the system changes. As they alter the way the world systems have run and change it over to an economic system of rulership. And you can look and expect one notable horn to begin to rise up. And right now Obama is around the world trafficking, not for the United States, but for himself. Notice now, when he goes to a country, he doesn't represent the United States. He represents himself. He makes apologies for the United States. All the top secret things the CIA have done to torture people and to get information, and all the things that have been done, they releasing, I think, 100 and some odd pictures over from Iraq that shows the things. They're releasing it to the ACLU. They're releasing it to the nation. The ACLU filed the lawsuit, but what they wanted to know is what was being done in a secret fashion. Now and I know a lawsuit means nothing. They just want to release the stuff in order to downgrade the American role in the world, to make the American culture look bad and to make America look like it's evil. See, right now America is being taken apart, systematically taken apart. So you go down to the Caribbean, you hobnob with Chavez and these guys, communists and all that. You go over to the Middle East, you hobnob. You go to the Islamic mosque, you take your shoes off and go in and pay homage to Islam. You hobnob with the Queen, by having a secret meeting with the Queen and Prince Philip behind closed doors. Get all that together. You go to hobnob with the Pope, kiss his ring, bow down. You go over here and you bow to the Saudi Arabian prince or whatever, you bow, pay homage to them. See, you're going around the world as an ambassador to make sure everybody is on the same page with you. And you become he's a global citizen. Has nothing to do with the United States anymore. Forget America as you've known it. That's over. It's gone. It's baked bread. It doesn't exist anymore. All you got is people who imagine America to be still in existence when America is gone. It don't exist. It's gone. No, I'm fighting for. There's nothing to fight for, man. They already took it over. When you gave the bankers the power to print the money in 1913, they took over America in 1913. When the Federal Reserve came into being, there was a power grab that took America over. Whenever you got a country that has a private institution like these bankers controlling the currency, they can lower and raise everything according to their will. The stock market, if you look at the numbers on the stock market every day and you believe those numbers, you're a fool. Because they got guys sitting at desks and they're putting money in and taking it out according to what they want done on that particular day. They can crash it, or they can make it appear to be sustained and going up and everybody's buying. You got trillions of dollars at the hands of these global bankers. They put it in and take it out to make you and I believe something is happening that is not. None of this is real. Social Security, Madoff is going to jail for a Ponzi scheme. Yeah. The same Ponzi scheme that Madoff ran is the same Ponzi scheme that the Social Security runs. Yeah. They bank on giving the old people the money of the young people. That's what Madoff did. It's the same thing. You got new people coming in with their money to pay off the old. Mm-hmm. It's a Ponzi scheme. That's right. When did Madoff collapse? When he didn't have enough investors on the front end coming in new to pay off the old investors. So if you abort all of your new Ponzi scheme participants, if you murder them, if you send them to jail, you know what I'm saying? If you cut off the lineage of the new money, you can't pay the old folks. So now what's the government saying? We got to take a serious look at Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, because it's unsustainable like it is. They're getting ready to do. They're going to euthanize these old folks and get rid of them, and they pumping this stuff into the old people through the drugs. They're poisoning the old people to death. Why? Because they can't pay them.
Baby boomers.
Huh?
Baby boomers are one of the largest populations. Every one of them. Can't
pay these folk, man. Can't you see they're dumbed down to young people to the degree they can't even get a job? What you want to be? I want to be a rapper. I want to be a rapper. I feel I'm going to be a rapper. Man, you're going to be out there flipping burgers. If they got a burger job for you to flip burgers in.
Can't even interview for.
Interview for a job?
They can't interview for.
Show up with your pants pulled down to your knees with dreadlocks draped down your back, 2 earrings on, a tattoo from head to toe. You come in look like a monster to a job interview. What company wants you to represent them as a salesman? Pharmaceutical sales, you go out like that to the doctors to sell pharmaceuticals. Come on, man, are you crazy? Look at the athletes. The athletes look like animals. A guy playing football with his hair draped out of his helmet like a girl down his back. Takes his helmet off, his hair's draped down his back like a little girl. And he's playing football. You got an androgynous football player, half man, half woman. And look how the world at large stays strangely silent about everything. No, not even the preachers say a word about it. It just rolls on. Rolls on. What are they looking for? One thing. Money. As long as the money comes in, I don't say a thing. And their main thrust in life is to make money. That's the devil's main thrust in life, to keep the money under control, because money on earth, money is like blood to a human body on this planet. Where the money flows, the life flows. So he keeps the money flowing his way. The devil tries to, in order to keep his empire sustained. All right, now let's focus in on these 10 crowns, on 10 heads, 10 economic zones worldwide. You can almost pick them out right now just sitting here. Europe, Pacific zone. Australia will probably stand alone. South America, North America. You'll probably have the Scandinavian economic zone. Some kind of a Pacific zone with the islands on the Pacific, Hawaii, and going further out toward the Asian empire. You probably have some type of a standalone zone in China and Russia because they're so big. You probably have a zone in China, Russia, and India standing alone because that's huge population centers. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you got the populous center, you'll have a czar. And I think you'll finally get 10 of them broken down somehow on this planet. And then you'll have one notable head come up. Now the nation states will have they'll have leaders that are powerless, castrated leaders. You'll have like a little emblematic leader that's not real. So you may have a president of the United States that's just an underling to the economic czar. Because I believe Canada, the United States, and Mexico will be in one economic zone. So let's say you put a czar, economic czar there that handles the global money or the electronic transfers now that are being dictated by the mark of the beast. You can't buy or sell. Remember now, that's the giveaway. He's telling you what the control is. You cannot buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast, the number of his name. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to tell you. The mark of the beast, the name of the beast, the number of his name. Without that, you cannot buy or sell. Now look, the emphasis on buying and selling. Telling you to switch over to economics now. And the monetary control. So you put a czar that's controlling now all that money flow and what's happening for the world bankers. The world bankers have lifted up the czars now. The guys they can control, like Gettner, he's a controllable guy. He's in the mix. Gettner hadn't even paid his taxes until he became Secretary of Treasury. $100 and some odd $1,000 in taxes, because they don't play taxes. That's the joke. That's for you clowns that don't know what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? We're above that. We're the Illuminati. We're the illuminated ones. We have the higher depths of Satan as we speak. Remember he talks about those who have not known the depths of Satan as they speak? These guys know the depths of Satan as they speak, so they don't. That's for you underlings to do all this stuff that we make laws for.
Commoners.
Yeah, you commoners, whatever you want to call them. I believe it was one of those little Disney shows. They call them the norms or the something. It's one of those little princess shows where the girl was a princess trying to marry a prince, and they call them like the commoners or the norms or the whatever they call them. Like they were just down there. That snooty attitude and personality trait you see in Prince Charles and the Queen and all of that. You know how they walk around talking about you never hug the Queen. She's just the old woman, just hug her. You know, what's the deal? Hey, what's going on, Mom? What's happening? Hey, what is all that? The Pope, you come around the Pope, you got to address the Pope a certain way. We're all black and all. What you doing all this for? He's just a guy. Just an old guy. I respect your age, Mr. Pope, and all that, but all this bowing down, kissing the ring, and all this pomp and circumstance, that's the insanity of the world. The world is insane. I heard a reporter talking about interviewing Jay-Z and how you have to conduct yourself around Jay-Z. Jay-Z?
Please.
This guy's a dope pusher. Shot his brother when he was 12 for stealing his jewelry. Stabbed a guy in a club, a record promoter. He got off on probation. Attempted murder, and then shot his own brother for stealing his jewelry at 12 years old. Jay-Z, 12 years old, shooting his brother for stealing his jewelry. That's when him and his brother reconcile. I know, because he got the money to reconcile with him now, yeah. I paid my brother off to reconcile with me. They said, well, around him you could tell the attitude and how you address him is how he addresses you. And Jay-Z says, if you're standoffish with me, I'll be standoffish with you. If you're open to me and cool with me, I'll be cool with you. Jay-Z. Who in the world is thinking about Jay-Z? That's like the guy that's down there, that's even disgracing the guy that's sweeping streets and stuff to say that. I mean, I can't even find enough to do a line up with. This is stupid. He comes down the street and the police are shoving you aside because he's walking down the street. A dope dealer, attempted murderer, bum, nut, kook, and an idolater is what the main thrust of it is. I can take the dope dealing and everything else, but an idolater that has no respect for Jesus Christ. In his rap, he says, I don't pray to God, I pray to Gotti, the gangster. It's all about the hustle and the flow and the money. I don't pray to God, I pray to Gotti. This is garbage. He paying homage to John Gotti, the gangster, the mafioso boss. That's who he prays to. And see, all that's put out there, nobody says a word, nobody flinches. Stinking Ebony, Jet, and Essence, those kind of magazines lift up these bums and tell the public they're successful. Black people have sold their soul for money. If it makes money, you don't question how they got it. Just lift them up as being somebody to be honored and exalted. That's evil. That's the evil, stinking empire that people who haven't had anything all their lives pay homage to when somebody gets it. When somebody gets something, I don't care how they got it. You're to bow down to them and respect them because they have money. Money is God in this country, so therefore God is attacking the money. You lifted up money over him, okay, we're going to attack what you made a God. Any God that's lifted up above God, the true God in Jesus Christ, he will assault that thing and bring it down. This country is being brought down economically because money was made God. All right, now the 10 horns are on 10. The 10 crowns are on 10 horns. We're dealing with an economic power now. And remember now, the money is the root of all evil, Jesus says. The love of it. The Bible is plain. The love of money is the root of all evil. Whenever you want to follow any instance on earth that evil is being done, just track the money back. All you got to do is ask this question every time something happens. Who will benefit financially from this happening? And you'll find the culprit behind what happened. Whoever benefits financially, the culprit can be found. You notice how the head of, I think, Freddie Mac the other day hanged himself, they said, committing suicide in the basement of his house. The CFO, the guy was 41 years old with a wife and a little baby daughter. He just been in the position like not even a year good. But what happened? Now he been in that whole arena of Freddie Mac for 16 years. So he knows where the money went.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? He knows what's going on. And he might have been one of those guys saying, either I'm not going to do this anymore, this and the other, and they had to off him, or the pressure of what he had done and the exposure of himself for what he had done was too much for me, and he didn't want the embarrassment to come on his house holding his family, and he killed himself, and at least they get the insurance money. See, a lot of people believe you commit suicide, they don't pay the insurance claim. That's not true.
That's not true.
After 2 years, they'll pay it.
That's right.
If you got a policy for 2 years and you commit suicide, they'll pay that. So you can have a $2 million policy, ride that for 2 years and then hang yourself. Your wife and kids taken care of. That's kind of crazy too that you pay off on that. Now, it used to be they wouldn't pay off on it. But now, after 2 years, the states made them pay for it because what they said was when you take out the policy, unless the insurance company can prove that when you took out the policy you intended to commit suicide, that's the only time they won't have to pay it. That you took out the policy with the intent of committing suicide. But they're saying after 2 years, you can't prove that person when they took the policy out was intended to commit suicide. Something could have happened to them in 2 years to make them do it, so you can't hold them accountable for it. We live in a crazy world. All right, now, the beast system, you see it. Now, what we did was we zeroed in on who the beast was before we started with the harlot riding the beast. First of all, you got to understand who the beast is. And the harlot gets on top of the beast and begins to ride this beast. So the government is the beast, and the harlot is riding the government. That's the transportation system for the harlot now. If you riding the harlot, it's like riding a horse. That's what's carrying the horse. The harlot needs the beast needs the harlot for a season. After a while, the beast won't need the harlot anymore. What does the beast need the harlot for? The beast needs the harlot because the harlot is the system of religion that the beast needs to keep the people under control so that the mystical powers of the beast can be carried out through the religious system. Now whoever, Derek Prince said this a long time ago, whoever fools around with this right here better be prepared for a heavy ride. Because you're actually exposing exactly what the devil's whole system stands on. And whoever, he said like, woe unto the person that disposes it. And I'll show you what he was referring to. Look back at Zechariah chapter 5. When Derek Prince said he was referring to a specific thing in the Bible. When he said, woe unto the person that exposes this system. And this is the system he was referring to. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5. This is the most terrifying thing in the Bible right here, I believe. If you understand this right here, and you deal with it with people, you're going to find the most violent reaction in people ever in the history of the world. Zechariah 5:5. Then the angel who was speaking to me came forward and said to me, look up and see what this is that is appearing. Remember, this is the NIV. It's said differently in the King James, but you get the gist of it. I asked, what is it? He replied, it is a measuring basket. I think in the King James it's called the ephah. An ephah is a measuring basket. If you got an ephah of barley or an ephah of wheat, that's how they measured it. It's like a pound or a gallon. It's a measuring basket, an ephah. He said, it's a measuring basket, and he added, this is the iniquity of the people throughout the land. I think in the King James it says throughout the whole earth. This is the iniquity. Now I'm showing you the evil now of the whole world. Well, that's a big deal and a major claim right there. Then the cover of lead was raised. Now, X-rays won't even penetrate lead. This is a very concealed, hidden thing. Superman can see through everything but lead. Did you know that?
Steel, that's right.
He can't see through lead. Now, he can see through any other thing. But X-rays won't penetrate lead. And see, that's what it is. You can't see this unless it's what? Revealed. Huh? And it's real heavy. Who has the strength to even lift it? Then the cover of lead was raised, and there in the basket sat a woman. This is the mystery. This is the evil of the whole earth. A woman? Wait a minute, man. What is this? He said, this is wickedness. And he pushed her back into the basket and pushed the lead cover down over his mouth. Then I looked up, and there before me were two women with the wind in their wings. They had wings like those of a stork, and they lifted up the basket between heaven and earth. Where are they taking the basket? I asked the angel who was speaking to me. He replied, to the country of Babylonia. I think it's called Shinar in the King James, but he's talking about Babylon. To build a house for it. When it is ready, the basket will be set there in its place. And in other words, he's building a temple to put the basket there on a pedestal to be worshipped. In the basket is a woman who is defined as absolute wickedness and evil, carried by women with stork's wings. Storks are historically known as an evil bird that represent witchcraft. So witches carry the woman to Babylon and set it on a pedestal, and it's worshipped there, paid homage to. Now you see the harlot that's the harlot riding the beast, a Babylonian worship system. A Babylonian worship system. Man, you got it. If you don't ingrain nothing else in your mind, the rest of your life, know that the church on the local corner, that's why we wrote the book, The Jesus Cult, is a cult system founded and ingrained and bathed in Babylonian worship. Now, what worship is it? You go back in history to the days of Nimrod, who built the Tower of Babel. The Tower of Confusion is called, because God confused the languages. That's why it's called Babel. To this very day, if somebody speaks incoherently, you're saying they're babbling. That's where it came from. That's where Babylon comes from. It's confusion. Now, in that system of religion, you had Nimrod, whose mother, who died, and he was married to Semiramis. Now, Nimrod, when he died, supposedly ascended to the sun and merged with the sun and became Baal. Now, a ray from the sun that Nimrod ascended to then inseminated Semiramis on earth, and Semiramis gave birth to a son, and the little son she had was the embodiment of Nimrod, and the son is actually Nimrod rebirthed in his son. So actually you got Nimrod eternally as the father, who inseminated Semiramis, his wife, who had the son, and the son was still identified with Nimrod, his father. They were one. Now you can see that ain't nothing but the gospel of Jesus Christ, with the Father and the Son being one. Semiramis is a conduit, and you see these pictures of Semiramis holding little baby Nimrod, reborn as her little baby, with a halo around her head, giving homage to the Son that birthed his son. The baby has a halo, and Semiramis has a halo. Fast forward to the present day vernacular, you got Mary and the little baby Jesus in Roman Catholicism. That's where it came from. That is not Jesus. That is not Mary. That is not the God of the Bible. That's the Babylonian system of worshiping Nimrod, the sun god, and Semiramis. Now note, the same Nimrod that's now the child of Semiramis is also the husband of Semiramis. So you got incest. You got an incestuous relationship where the baby is paying homage to his mother, but also the lover of his mother. The thing is in you as a woman, and you got a 13-year-old boy sitting in your middle school class that you begin to have sexual desires for. That's where that's coming from. That's why the woman is beginning to be attracted to a younger boy, because it's the spirit of Semiramis holding her son. That's why a woman won't let her son go in a home, because she got the spirit of Semiramis. The Roman Catholic curse is they have the spirit of Semiramis in you, and you basically emaciate and effeminize a boy and make a girl tough and a whore. That's what it does. It operates in homes everywhere. Now you're seeing the inroads made into people's minds. Even Newt Gingrich stopped being a Protestant to become a Catholic. They're going home. The thing is calling folk home.
That's right.
Fox News is full of Roman Catholics. Sean Hannity, Bill Bennett is one. Sean Hannity is one. Bill O'Reilly. Semiramis worship. They can't stand against the powers of darkness and Satan because they're Babylonian people. What we got to do is just come to terms with the fact that we're battling forces that came from hell and they are for real. He said this is wickedness. That's the revelation. Derek Pierce used to say, this is a covering, a lead covering over an ephah. And then he'd say, woe unto the man that lifts the lead covering. And you know what? I think Derek Prince really believed that. And I think he was kind of afraid to lift the lead covering.
He never challenged Roman Catholics.
He wouldn't come against, he coming up right up against Roman Catholics. But he never pulled a cover up to say in explicit detail that this is wickedness.
It's broad from that, that Anglican. It's the same thing.
It's an offshoot of the Roman Catholics, but as long as you keep telling the Roman Catholic that there's a way in or a chance, you're damning their soul. The minute you kneel down and say a prayer to Mary, you're an idolater. And the Bible says every idolater has their place in the lake of fire. You're not doing them a service to emotionally accommodate Roman Catholicism. Every idolater. Marian worship is an abomination. See, when you begin to study this and really look at this thing in detail, the depths of this evil is mind-blowing, because it transcends Roman Catholicism as you get deeper into it. But now, okay, you see this evil here. Now we've got the beast zeroed in on. We got the whore that's riding the beast. We see both of them. It's Semiramis and Nimrod. Fast forward into other religions, and you're going to pick up Aphrodite with her child, I believe it's Eros. Then you get into Rome, and you got Venus and Cupid. Same folk now. Same folks. You got a mother goddess and a little boy. Mother goddess and a little boy. Remember, if this thing contaminates you now, you're going to take on the dictates of those two individuals, of the man and the woman. You'll be a mother goddess, and the guys will be little boys. I looked at the prom last night. If these kids were going into the prom, you saw mother goddesses and little boys. That's all you see. Am I right, Chris?
Yeah.
You see them come to a restaurant and they go out to dinner before they go to the prom?
Yeah.
Mother goddesses
Not the other way.
and little boys. Mother goddesses, little boys. And contingents of girls without dates. I mean, packs of girls, 5 or 6 at a time going to the prom, no dates. Then the ultimate thing was to see this little black short girl in a white tuxedo with a white cap on with a tall blonde white girl date.
And they're holding on.
The lesbian couples. I'm looking at that walking to the prom, I'm thinking, that's the ultimate goal of this Semiramis and Nimrod worship. But remember now, Nimrod, when he was born to Semiramis, changed his name to Tammuz. Tammuz is the god of the harvest, and Semiramis is basically the goddess of fertility and sexual immorality and perversion. The Bible calls her the mother of all abominations and whores on the earth. She makes abominations and whores. Abominations and whores. And see, a guy's mind, when he plugs into this thing, he gets a taste of a woman that's bathed in Semiramis' spirit. You can watch that guy lose his mind. He can't detach from it. It's like his mama. And see, if you prepared the boy to be a guy like this, when he switches over to that thing, he's gonna switch over from being matriarchal and effeminate through his mama, looking for the same kind of spirit to stay up under to take care of him. He'll be defending that thing and talking about how nice they are and they care about me and they love me and man, come here and let me just take this crowbar and get this out of you. What has happened? It's driven him out of his senses. That's what happened to him. Sexual union with this thing, the Bible says explicitly, you join yourself to a harlot, you become a harlot. It don't say you join yourself to a whoremonger, you become a whoremonger. You join yourself to a harlot, you become a harlot. It don't work in reverse, because when the girls join themselves to a harlot, they become harlots. The boys join themselves to a harlot, they become harlots. See, it's a perversion going on down here that's taking root now and taking hold of people. And we're going to examine that thing microscopically in society and show it to you and how it's being promoted every day and put on people to make them into what Satan is. All right, now we got the beast zeroed in on. We got the harlot. We see it. Remember now, eros, we get the word erotic from it. That's the same as that little Tammuz baby. And Cupid is the same as the little Tammuz baby. Valentine's Day honors Cupid. Valentine's Day. You know one of the most evil things you can ever walk in life that everybody thinks is normal? Romance. There's no such thing as romance. You know what romance is? It's fantasy. Romance comes from Rome and the Romans. They wrote romance novels. They wrote romantic tales. It's so romantic what you're talking about, the fantasies you got in your mind that you worship. You don't need romance, you need love.
That's right. Yeah.
That's reality. But romance appears itself to what? Feelings.
That's right.
A lot of fools that sent you flowers and candy and dogged you out afterwards. He sent me 2 dozen roses and candy for Valentine's Day. Yeah, but that's you just one of the 6 people to send it to. What? Because your mind. See, your mind was jacked up with the romance. What did he do? He worshipped you to make you feel elevated in your own mind and make you believe you were something. To do what? To make a fool out of you and to make a dumbbell out of you. Then when you wake up out of that romantic dream, you get mad. And another layer of concrete is poured into your soul, and you get harder because your own fantasies deceive you. I mean, don't blame everybody else because you was a fag hag. Don't try to make your husband to a fag hag because that's what you used to. I can't deal with you unless I fag you out first, because that's all I can deal with. I can't deal with no man. I got to faggotron you first. Fagotize you. I majored in fagonomics in school. That's all I know. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? I was born on an island just south of Italy, Sicily. That's all I know. I was born on Sicily, and that's all. That's what's happening, though. These girls don't deal with the guy until they're sure that they're homosexual and sissies. They're closet lesbians who need a feminine guy to deal with. Stand there with muscles. This is a man's man. That guy, that's a gal. Shake his hand, he tried to I shook a guy's hand the other day when he muscle bound. He tried to crush my hand in half. I left almost with my, going to Jesus and, with twisted hands, can you heal my twisted limbs? Because this sissy crushed my hand. Somebody shake your hand and try to just, what you doing all that for? What's wrong with you, man? Well, if you was a real man, you could, you a fool. You a homosexual, overcompensating for your homosexuality. It don't take all that, man. Girls going to have sex with these sisters, they almost try to kill these girls in the bed to try to prove they're a man. And the girl leave bruised and beat down and dogged in the bed by some old thug trying to prove he's a man and just trying to destroy the girl. And think, I really threw it on that gal. She knows she was with a man when she was with me. You a homosexual. Overcompensation is the sign of homosexuality. Trying to prove yourself is the sign of homosexuality. All this stuff is driven by homosexuality. And so this thing wants you to be like that in order to control you. And now we got a whole contingent, a generation of women who can only deal with homosexuals. Programmed through Michael Jackson and Prince and Luther Vandross and Elton John and Mick Jagger and David Bowie and on and on and on. A whole generation of folk exposing up homosexual singers, media stars, and actors and actresses. And it programmed them in. The softy, feminine guy. You watch how many young boys just lose weight and get real skinny with a backwards cap on, earrings in their ear, hair draped down their back, walking down the street with tattoos, more gal than the gal they're standing beside. What got me looking at that prom depiction again? Big, healthy, robust girls. I mean, stacked up, big, healthy girls, and a little skinny twig guy standing next to them looking like, you know, like a stiff breeze might have blew the guy down the street. And the girl standing up, big, healthy, robust Ellie Mays with these form-fitted evening gowns on, you know, just stacked up, looking like Marilyn Monroe, with this little twig standing next to him. Looking like it was a mother-son image right in front of her. And the girl wanted a little twig guy to be with so they could be the dominatrix, standing in high heels in the evening gown with Twiggy. The guy, the model Twiggy. You remember Twiggy from the 60s, the model? That's how the guy looked like, Twiggy. Remember David Bowie? Chest sunk in, Barney Fife-like. Married to Iman, big statuesque black model, 6-foot model, and David Bowie. With his boyfriend Mick Jagger walking down the street. See, that's what we got. This comes from Semiramis and Tammuz. It's Eros and it's Cupid. Remember, erotic love without God is nothing more than lust. The definition of love of lust is erotic love expressed without God. Lust. You feed your own desires. Lust, and lust cannot be fulfilled. It cannot be satisfied. It's insatiable. All you can do is keep on throwing stuff to it, and they never can have enough. So that's eros. When it gets inside of a person, they seek erotic fulfillment, and it's preeminent in the mind. That's why the chambers of the mind get attacked with eroticism, and you become a fantasy-stricken person. You fantasize all the time. You can't deal with a human being one-on-one because your mind is full of fantasies. You really can't interact and relate to people because you're full of fantasies. You never can be real. You never can come to terms with folk. You never can talk to people. It's always these thoughts just in your mind. And you got to have that stuff driven out of you and put to death. Chambers of your mind got to die. Just like marijuana kills brain cells or whatever, you know, the Holy Ghost has to kill off some chambers of your mind that are not germane to the kingdom of God. They don't kill brain cells, but he kills off chambers that have been cohabitating with demons and infiltrated by demons. You got to flush out the demon and then kill off that arena so the demon won't have a home to return to. You got to deaden that arena, or the demon going to come back looking for what? A living chamber. It's going to looking for life. What's like itself? Oh, you still susceptible to these same fantasies. Let me throw one on you. And I was going to have a man or woman show up to empower the fantasy, because you know he still got it in you. So some old smooth, slick talking dude going to eat right in there. You want to go out to some ice cream tonight? Now fantasy is still alive. Can't say no because he still got you. That's what's churning all the time down here. Semiramis, Tammuz. You know, Venus, Aphrodite, Eros, and Cupid. I think I got that straight. I think it's Venus and Cupid. I think it's Aphrodite and Eros. If not, it's the other way around. But I think that's right. Which I'll check that later. But the players are right. Yeah, they're all the same. If you study them, Eros, Cupid, and Tammuz. Remember, the women in the Bible were weeping for Tammuz. They were weeping for two things. They wanted to get pregnant, and they wanted the harvest to come in full. They wanted a full harvest. And they were weeping. It's paying homage to Tammuz, asking them to fulfill their desires. The women weeping for Tammuz. Another time in Jeremiah, it talks about paying homage to the Queen of Heaven. It says when we paid homage to the Queen of Heaven, we never lacked any material possessions. We had all of our needs met. We want to pay homage to the Queen of Heaven. And they said, and it instilled in the men, along with the women, to pay homage to the Queen of Heaven. And see what happens then, you get incapacitated, childlike people in play who are paying homage to the matriarchal systems, and the women will take authority. Look over at Isaiah chapter 3 and you'll see it. See, this is the Bible. This is the mystery of the Bible right here now. The mystery started in Genesis, and it's played out throughout the Bible until you get a revelation of the mystery. The mystery begins when Eve lifts up over Adam. That's when it began. That's when woman rule took place. And that's the genesis of it. And then in Revelation, you get the revelation of what was founded back in Genesis. Woman rule, woman domination came into play. And boy, you want to get some folk mad, you start dealing with this right here. Make this your life work in ministry to deal with this and see what God will bless you. But you just got to take the heat. My thing is, I ain't got nothing to lose. I might as well sell the farm. I might as well take the heat. This ain't panning out over here. Look at Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12. He says, Youths oppress my people. Women rule over them. O my people, your guides lead you astray. They turn you from the path. And I think what does it say in the King James? O my people.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
Cause you to err. Leads you in the error. All you Sarah Palin worshipers need to take heed of that out there over the internet. You're trying to lift up Sarah Palin, you leading folks in the error and a misinterpretation of the Bible. All you women trying to fool around and be pastors and apostles, you're in error. All you co-pastors with your husband that are women, you're in error because your little sissy husband don't have the guts to stand up and tell you to go somewhere and get in your place. That's almost, you can feel the heat in an environment where you just say that to a woman. Get in my place. Who you think you're talking to? I ain't no child. I'm not a child. You don't be talking to me like I'm a child. Look, you better bow the knee fast. You better find yourself a knee to bow down on, because you're going to get knocked down. Either you can bow or you can get knocked down. Because what happens is, the devil instilled in a woman to try to be a man so much she can't even find out the blessing of being a woman. She's trying to compete and be a man so hard that she can't even come to the fruition and the totality of what God would have for her and how blessed she'd be in her position, because she just see that position, the one that's so bad and coveting it and envying it so badly that she got to have that position that can't even be herself. So now you truck driving and smoking cigars and you're becoming a whoremongering man inside. It's bad to be a whoremongering man, walking around looking gruff and scruffy and nasty and stank, trying to be a man. That's the mystery about a lesbian that's one of these masculine lesbians. It's funny how if lesbianism is right, why you got to have a femme and a butch lesbian?
Exactly.
If lesbianism is right, both of you should be feminine. If homosexuality is right, you wouldn't have a femme and a butch homosexual. A man that plays the male role and a man that plays the feminine role. If it's right. Ellen DeGeneres standing at the altar with the girl she married. Look how stupid this is. You got two women standing at the altar in front of some knucklehead marrying them, and both of the women are full of eggs.
That's right. Can't do nothing with that.
You don't have a penis and you ain't got no seed. You got two egg bearers. How you gonna carry forth the race? How you gonna procreate and make the race sustain itself? Huh? Consummate the marriage. And then to make it really stupid, they go and get dildos and strap them on to have sex with each other. Like a man. If you were equipped to do this, why you got to go and buy some artificial thing to make it happen. Shut up. You just shut your mouth. You shut your stinking mouth. Like the guy said at the Miss America pageant when the girl said she didn't believe in homosexual marriage or whatever. The guy started calling her B's and dumb A's, and that's the violent reaction of a homosexual when you just tell them the truth. It's kind of bad when the girl standing in a string bikini telling you though. Because you are paying homage to Semiramis and all these fallen entities, and you try to stand for God standing in a string bikini with your chest pumped full of silicone. That's kind of crazy. But see, that's what we got. This woman has stood for God, and all the preachers start talking about, just like this beauty pageant contestant stood for God in a string bikini. That's the best God can do, come up with somebody in a string bikini to make a stand for him. Girl, put some clothes on. You got on a bra and panties. You got on a bra and panties, gal. This is a bra and some panties you have on here. No, this is a bikini. See how the devil will change stuff? No, this is a bikini. Well, I got over here a girl with bra and panties on that's got on more material than your bikini.
That's right.
But see, this is a bikini. See, fool, this is a bikini. Don't you understand? The devil changed the name to put you on the beach in bra and panties. Hey, this dude is playing for keeps. He's a genius. And then in your mind, you go lay on the beach in your bra and your panties, and you think you're out there in a bikini, and you're good to go. But if somebody saw your bra and panties, you get out of here. What the? They'll try to cover up. I have my bra and my panties. Well, you were just on the beach in your bra and your panties, but no, I was in a bikini there. Golly, man, this is crazy. Then they look at you like, see, then everybody will look at you like, you stupid, you so stupid, you crazy. I'm crazy? Notice how everybody that's crazy is calling you crazy and they're crazy.
You so stupid. Why you look at that?
You got a judge at the beauty contest saying this girl is a dumb A and a stupid B, and he called her, I think, the C word too. You know. And all this stuff he called this girl. All right, let me ask you a question, fella. Last night you were bent over a bed rail with a guy ramming his penis into your behind as hard as he could, and you in there yelping like a dog with a guy ejaculating in your anus, and you in there yelping like an animal, stuffed full of KY jelly and Brio cream and all kind of olive oil and stuff so the guy could do it to you. And you're calling her dumb? You're calling her stupid. Now this is what you just did last night, and she's dumb.
Right.
Some guy's penis stuffed down your throat to your tonsils, and she's dumb. How can these guys have the moral authority to call anybody dumb or stupid?
That's right.
But everybody just mom's the word. Mom's the word. Nobody say anything now. You're so graphic. So you're too graphic. You have no tact. He calling the girl a dumb man, a female dog, and he's got tact. And there's nobody to say a thing about it. No preacher.
They don't say nothing.
Apostle Joanne Jones, can you say anything, please? Apostle? Pastor Brenda Smith, can you speak up, please? Bishop Paula Donaldson, do you have a word of encouragement here? Why is everybody so quiet, man? Because that system is built on the same thing. This is what we're dealing with. Now, if God wasn't going to do something about it, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it right now. He pulled the curtain back. Look, see the ephah? Lift the lead lid. See, this is wickedness. That's what he's doing right now. He's exposing what's really going on in preparation for the final conflict that's coming to earth. Now, this is what's riding the beast. We looked at the harlot. We've seen the economic system now is going to be the controlling mechanism of the beast. The whore is going to be worshipped, so the people will be drunk. Now, you remember, this thing instills intoxication now. So remember, when you talk to the person on the street that you think is sober, they're really drunk and intoxicated. So when you talk to them, they're drunk with the wine and the fornication. Only the Holy Ghost can slap you out of a drunken stupor like this. Something has to happen to you to wake you up out of the drunken stupor. So he's putting together right now and preparing to orchestrate something to slap the fool out of mankind to wake them up out of this drunken stupor so they can hear. They can't hear right now because they're drunk with the wine of this fornication, and God has to sober you up to be able to hear. Remember when you were out there sinning, you were having fun and enjoying yourself, and you were drunk as a skunk.
That's right.
But something sobered your butt up enough to get saved. If it ain't one thing, it'll be another. Now, if he can't get you by slapping you upside the head, then there's AIDS, there's chlamydia, there's gonorrhea, there's syphilis, there's heart trouble, there's there's a lot of stuff out there we can pull out of the old bag here to wake you up. You want to keep playing dumb? I was talking to a young girl the other day. I was telling her, I said, look, you know how you go out there? We were talking about she was having thoughts of lesbianism trying to enter into her mind. I said, the problem is you play with lesbians. So you play with lesbians like you do a no-good guy because it's the same spirit. See, a lesbian and a no-good whoremongering guy is the same person. Both of them give women things to have sex with them and exalt them and play with them because they want the girl sexually. A whoremongering man and a lesbian spirit, the same thing. They come after women with the same spirit. And I said, with you, because you're into yourself, you play with a lesbian like you do a guy, and now the thoughts and the desires of the lesbian begin to infiltrate your mind because they design in you as you play with them. She said, what you mean? I said, look, stop fooling around and playing with me, girl. I ain't here to play with you. I don't want you. I ain't here to play with you. I'm here to tell you the truth and get your butt free if you want to be free. This the real deal here. Don't game me. Because you know what you be doing. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. See, people want to try to play around like they don't know what you're talking about. You got to stop people from that. Say, whoa. Don't play with me. You know what I'm talking. You know what you're doing. Because that's what's causing your downfall. You fooling around and playing dodo bird and dumbbell while you're doing your dirt. Because the devil will modify your thinking to make you accommodate your stupid mess that you're doing and make you tell you you're doing something that you're not, and trying to fantasize about the reality of it.
That's right.
I don't know why he did this to me. I was raped. He raped me, well, why would you sashaying around half naked in front of him? You know what I'm saying? You out there trying to seduce him and trying to put your butt in front of him, and then trying to jump up like, I don't know why I was raped. Girl, go somewhere. You would have had sex with him under your control, but you didn't expect him to be a wild fool to rape you. Date rape. How'd you go out on a date? Well, I didn't have any drawers on. What?
Okay.
See, this is crazy. Now they don't even wear underwear. Like Bob was saying, the girls in the evening gowns going to the prom. Well, some of them, they didn't have no bra on. I said, some of them have no drawers on.
That's when you grab the mic and say, does anybody here have panties on?
And that'd be the whole crowd. That'd be because all those dresses cut way down the back and all that.
No panty line.
No panty line, no nothing.
And they don't have on.
No panty holes, no nothing. Just crazy, just madness. You don't want to be sitting up in a steakhouse and smelling fish. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all sell fish? No, we sell the steak. This is a steakhouse. This is Roost Chris. This is Roost Chris Steakhouse. We don't sell any seafood here. What? What is this smell? I mean, I hate to go to, a burger joint, fish, what is it, shrimp? Y'all smelling this shrimp? Tilapia? What? Catfish? What? But see, that's what's happening. The stinking stench of a vagina. Now, that might seem funny, but that's what's being worshipped. And I'm going to show you that's what's being worshipped. And it's a reason why the vagina is being worshipped. It all makes sense if you understand the logic of knuckle-headed Satan and how he thinks. Now, let's get back to Revelation 17 as this continues here. He says, the angel carried me away in the spirit into a desert. There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was covered with blasphemous names and had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was dressed in purple and scarlet and was glittering with gold, precious stones, and pearls. She held a golden cup in her hand filled with abominable things and the filth of her adulteries. This title was written on her forehead. Mystery. Babylon the Great. Remember Zechariah? They set her on a pedestal in Babylon. The mother of prostitutes. I think the King James says harlots. He's referring to prostitutes. That's why the little girls now are all about no loot, no boots. You got to pay to play. That's why the strip joints are bubbling over. The little girls are becoming prostitutes. This right here between my legs comes with a price. When you came to the temple to pay homage to one of these goddesses, Venus, Diana, Aphrodite, you bought your money and paid the prostitute to have sex with her to pay homage to the goddess. That's where it comes from. She's the mother of prostitutes. Little girls coming through high school now are getting a prostitute spirit. If you're not careful, your little girl sitting there looking at Hannah Montana will take on a prostitute spirit. Girls too fast for these little girls. The cheater girls. Too fast for these little girls. They take it on that old, slick, they talking too old for their age. You got sometimes you got to, hey girl, look here, oh, whoa. You better quiet yourself down there. Step back from me. You know what I'm saying? Because they try to flex on you. That's their spirit. It's the spirit of a prostitute taking hold on. And see, all these rap songs teach them, it's the money. Get the money, girl. Get the money. Get the money. All these rappers pay homage to shake dancers. They got the booty going round and round, booty to the floor, getting low. Shawty got low. That's the name of the songs and stuff. Talking about girls squatting down in the strip club and all this kind of stuff and putting the money in the G-string and in the thong. And the guy singing the song talking about, she emptied my wallet out. She emptied out my money. She took all my Benjamins from me. Cause Shawty was getting low. And it took hold of me and it just emptied my wallet out. So the little girl's thinking, oh, that's what I got. I'm equipped with the stuff to make some money. I got the stuff built into the body here to make my bread, make my living. And a lot of these girls, man, they pulling down 6 figures. They sleep all day and shake dance by night. And the devil just breaking it off. Now we're gonna tell you where it's all coming from. That's being channeled through certain individuals down here right now. The mother of prostitutes and of the abomination of the earth. And the abomination refers to the homosexuality. If you lie with a man like you lie with a woman, it's an abomination. Leviticus tells you plainly. An abomination. That which is detestable, filthy, and just totally degraded. That's what it is. And she sires these things. This is a woman riding the beast. The false religious system produces this. All through the churches, homosexuals everywhere, on the organs, playing the pianos, in the choir. This is being produced by this thing. This is what's happening. I saw that the woman was drunk with the blood of the saints. Look what the thing hates. It's been killing every sanctified one that honors God through Jesus Christ down through the ages. She's drunk with the blood of the saints. Remember Herodias and Herod? As soon as that thing was addressed by John the Baptist, remember, as long as John the Baptist said anything about it, John the Baptist would stay like in his realm where he was tolerated. But when he turned on her, Herodias whispered in Herod's ear, we got to kill this boy. Herod was not receptive. He kind of resisted a little bit because he was kind of scared of John the Baptist. She got her daughter, and I believe her daughter probably danced in front of Herod butt naked. He saw that vagina flinching in his face, got drunk and crazy, if he didn't lay down with the daughter at the mother's approval, and beheaded John the Baptist. See how the harlot controls the beast? Herod is the governmental beast. Herodias is the harlot riding the beast. When the harlot is threatened, it's going to the government to get the government to kill the saint. We're about to replay. This is replay now. It's getting ready to replay. We're dealing with Roman Catholicism. We're dealing with false religion. In a minute, they're going to be down in the White House talking to Obama. Hate speech, intolerance, diversity. They got it set up, man. Only when you speak up do you find out they're for war. David said, I was for peace. But when I spoke up, when I came into this tabernacle and spoke up, I found out you were for war. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you what's about to happen. When God looses the real church to speak against the false church and the dictates of this idolatry, it's going to the governments around the world to turn on the real church. We're about to relive the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. When I saw her, I was greatly astonished. Then the angel said to me, He said, okay, it had the blood of the saints, the blood of them who bore the testimony to Jesus. Remember now, it's important to realize this is a contrast between Jesus and this thing, because it's all about who you worship. Who you worship. When I saw her, I was greatly astonished. Then the angel said to me, why are you astonished? I will explain to you the mystery of the woman and of the beast she rides, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. Same beast now, from Daniel through Revelation 12 to Revelation 13, now Revelation 17. That same 10 horned, 7-headed beast has been consistent now through the Bible. So that's telling you now this thing is coming to a head at the end. The beast which you saw once was, now is not, and will come up out of the abyss and go to its destruction. I think the King James says was, is, yet is not. Is not, yet is, right? So therefore it was, it is not, yet it is. Was, is not, is. Was, is not, is. You got to understand the governmental system grew out of Adam's loins. Adam was given the governmental control of the planet, remember? He was the Lord of earth for Jesus Christ and God the Father. He was given dominion here to rule it. He's the governmental authority of the earth. This is why Satan couldn't rule without accosting Adam to take the dominion from Adam. The Bible says that Jesus got back from Satan that which he took not away. He restored the kingdom back to God by taking from Satan the vesture in which he trusted, took from him his scepter of rulership, everything he had, then gave him dominion. Jesus took it back from him. He says, all power now belongs to me. So now you have a pseudo dominion on earth that's just it's like if you it would be like if you pull the lines on a person that's being kept alive through artificial means. You know how you can have an artificial life support system in a hospital to keep a person alive when they're really just dead? You pull the lines and the heart keeps beating for a while. That's what you have on earth with Satan. All the life support's been pulled, but he's still. But you know what happens now? The heartbeat begins to do what? Slow down, run down, and finally it dies. So Jesus disempowered Satan 2,000 years ago, but now the life is slowly running down till it's done away with. That's why you get degrading lifestyles on earth with time. Life is running down. So it used to be sustainable, kind of a high pitch. Now the people get more and more filthy, nastier, dirtier, more low down as they emaciate away and finally go away. That's what we're looking at. The life support is gone, but the life is winding down slowly. Now look at this. He says, the beast which you saw once was, now is not, and will come up out of the abyss and go to his destruction. The inhabitants of the earth, whose names have not been written in the book of life from the creation of the world, will be astonished when they see the beast, because he once was, now is not, and yet will come. So you're looking at the Adamic government, the Adamic rulership. He was, he is not, because Jesus destroyed it at the cross, and yet he is a resurrected Adam. That is the deadly head wound that is healed. Adam resurrected as a governmental authority, and you're going to see him actually deified and worshipped in the office of Caesar again. We're going to see the return of Caesar over Rome. But this time he'll be an economic ruler over a 10-horned system of economic czars with one little horn that spoke great swelling words, the Bible says. And this thing will have the power to wear out the saints and overcome them at the behest of the harlot. The harlot is going to be the one to instill in the beast system to kill the real saints. Exactly. And when they are through slaughtering the saints and the harlot's work is done, what it didn't bargain for will happen. The government that it used to kill the saints will want to rule solo. I don't want a queen. I don't want no religious system. See, before, remember now, the system was being used to worship Semiramis and Tammuz, a female image. But they didn't bargain for the female imagery create sissies. And a sissy don't want to rule with no woman. A sissy is self-absorbed. So the beast is going to say, I don't want no queen. So it's going to do away with all religion systems and say, now you and the masses worship me alone. I am God. He's going to stand in the tabernacle of God, showing himself to be God. That's the abomination that maketh desolate. It all makes perfect sense. It used the prostitute. You pimp a prostitute until you're through using the prostitute. Then you get rid of them and you take all the things and all the spoil for yourself. What's sitting up in churches? Prostitutes. The preacher is the pimp and the people are the prostitutes. Can't you see all the money flows upstream to the preacher as the pimp? They go out to they call it commuting every day as they move from their slave shack in the suburbs to their job down at IBM downtown. A bunch of slaves going to the field to gather income to take to the pimp back at the church. You can see the whole thing in nothing but a pimp prostitute arena. The guy riding around in the Bentley picking up young boys and whores at night, calling himself a pastor, and sending the pimps, the prostitutes into the field all week long from Monday through Saturday to gather the stuff he needs to make sure he can take care of these whores and these young boys he's sodomizing. Roman Catholicism is the basic. Just look at it. $2.6 billion paid in restitution and reparations for sodomizing young boys and making people into animals. And you pay $2.6 billion in reparations for the damage you've done, and the prostitutes still go out to ingather the money to keep feeding that monster so these sissies can keep sodomizing young boys. The thing to ask any person in a Roman Catholic environment is, how much of your money you think you've used to pay for sodomizing these young boys with $2.6 billion being spent on it? What percentage of that is your money, you think? You're empowering the sodomy of all these young boys, and you're proud of that, huh? You're crazy. You're drunk with the wine of the fornication of a harlot and a beast system. That's what's happened to you. And nobody, for the most part, wants to talk about it. The Pope is the Holy Father. Man, you're crazy. He's the king of sodomites. Look at this. He says, people were astonished when they saw the beast because he once was, now is not, and yet will come. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 hills on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen, and 1 is, and the other has not yet come. But when he does come, he must remain for a little while. The beast who once was and now is not is an 8th king. He belongs to the 7 and is going to his destruction. An 8th king that belongs to the 7, a resurrected Roman Empire. I think you got a duality of prophecies there when you talk about this thing sits on 7 hills. You're looking at the 7 hills of Rome that houses the Vatican, along with the 7 imperial rulerships of the world, which houses the Roman Empire, the Grecian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Egyptian Empire, the Assyrian Empire, all these different empires, 7 empires throughout the world's history, and at the same time, the mother of all religious harlots, the Vatican, sits there as a golden city amidst those 7 hills in Rome. So it's the empires that ruled, along with that harlot system that came from the Roman Empire. The Roman Universal Church, the Roman Catholic Church, came out of the loins of the Roman Empire. Remember, God didn't found the Roman Empire, the Roman Church. The Roman government did. Constantine founded the Roman Universal Church and called it Roman Catholic, which means universal. It's nothing but an appendage to the pagan system of the Roman government. That's where the harlot came out of Rome, for a reason. They saw something happening that they had to create a religious system in order to disempower the turn to Jesus Christ. We got to some kind of way amalgamate this Christian system into the Roman system so as to disempower it so the people will stop turning from us toward Jesus Christ. This was the stroke of genius Satan came up with right here. The 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received the kingdom, but who for 1 hour will receive authority as kings along with the beast. There you go now. The czars are coming. The change up is coming from military might to economic rule. 10 kings who receive power 1 hour, short period of time. This is a short-lived experience now with the beast. They have one purpose and will give their power and authority to the beast. The economic czars subjugate their economic zones to the ruling beast. They will make war against the Lamb. They hate Jesus Christ. But the Lamb will overcome them because he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and with him will be his called, chosen, and faithful followers. Then the angel said to me, the waters you saw, where the prostitute sits, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. The beast and the 10 horns you saw will hate the prostitute. They will bring her to ruin and leave her naked. They will eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to accomplish this purpose by agreeing to give the beast their power to rule. Remember, the beast now becomes God on earth. To give the beast their power to rule until God's words are fulfilled. The woman you saw is that great city that rules over the kings of the earth. And chapter 8 goes into talking about Babylon. It's spiritual Babylon that rules the kings of the earth, or spiritual wickedness sitting inside of an ephah. Now what do we have now that reflects all of this? Here's the mystery of iniquity that works on earth right now. The devil realizes that the only way he can rule the earth is to turn people to another system of worship other than worshiping Jesus Christ. If you worship Jesus Christ, what happens is inside of you, you're disempowered from anything on earth that controls you. No drugs, no alcohol, no pornography. I worship Jesus Christ. I don't worship my own appetites and carnal desires, and I don't worship world systems any longer. I turn toward Jesus at the expense of everything else. I don't care about your movies. I don't care about your stuff. I don't want your junk. I don't want to go. If there's a happening, a concert at the Phillips Arena, I don't go because I don't care. You clamor about Michael Jackson walking down the street. He's a transvestite to me. Everything you exalt is nothing to me. It's dead to me. It's a dead zone. That's what the devil hates about Jesus Christ. When you come to him, you die to every stimuli that affects the human race in a bound type of a way. They're moved by these folks. Oprah means something to them. Oprah means nothing to you. Oprah, she suggested this book. And they run out and start buying books that Oprah suggested in her book club. It means nothing to you. You see how, if it's an economic empire, you become distasteful. Because the money is the controlling mechanism and you won't buy our goods. Remember it says Babylon in 1 hour is brought to nothing. All the economic things in Babylon are dried up. If this country falls, this must be Babylon because this empowers the whole world economically. The vast majority of all the world's goods are bought in the United States. We're a consumer nation for the whole world. Massive appetites of consumerism reign in America. We just eat and drink and buy. You can go to grocery stores right here. They got one over in Riverdale, where all the goods of the whole world come to that grocery store. I mean, all the fruits, the vegetables, the different fishes, all this stuff coming to this store for distribution from around the world. You find them now. You find world markets out there. You ever seen a store called the World Market? All things flowing this way because Americans eat so much, and gluttony is causing obesity to reign in this country. And now instead of combating obesity, they're saying we're just making larger sizes to accommodate the big woman. So we don't want you to feel bad about your obesity. We want you to feel good about yourself and don't put yourself down. So now we have even obese models and things to accommodate obesity. Because you keep feeding yourself, gratifying yourself. Everything for you. You're sucking in life. You're not giving off any life. That's the very spirit of selfishness that's taking over. So now, you got this system set up whereby the economic authorities are ruling. The people who govern the banks don't want you to stop buying and selling. That's how they make their money. So your appetite to buy and sell is what puts you in debt, and you pay off your interest on your credit cards through your appetite. That's how they make. So you transfer money through uncontrollable appetites. Greed, avarice, more for me, vacations, trips, food, clothing, shelter, new car every 4 years, a gluttonous appetite. So what's happening is being shut down because the people don't have any money. They're drying up. So the global boys, the world bankers, those who control the fiat money supply are saying, we got to find another way to do business. We've drained them dry. Logically, what do? The money don't work. We got to get rid of it. They're going to drop the money. Paper money going to go away. It's going to go it's going to go like the Ford Edsel did. It's going to become extinct like a velociraptor. It's going to be extinct. So the paper money supply is going to go away. So they're going to come to a global currency that's going to be electronic. It's all electronic mediums to buy and sell. You control the world's economic systems through buying and selling through electronic medium instead of fiat money. So what are they doing now in the country? Obama inherits a $1.3 trillion debt. How does he solve it? We spend $2 or $3 trillion more. That's crazy. How could you in your house be in debt $100,000 and spend $200,000 to solve it?
That's crazy.
Any fool knows this is insane. Why did he do this? Why did he do this? He was told to do it. Why was he told to do it? Because they're inflating the currency. They got to print up massive amounts of money. Now, when you flush massive amounts of money into the system, what happens? It decreases the value of the money. You inflate it. In other words, it used to take $1 to buy a loaf of bread. Now it's going to cost $5 to buy a loaf of bread. More dollars, the price is going to go up.
That's right. And people don't have it.
Isn't that what they did in Germany?
During the days of Hitler?
Yeah. When they were like taking wheelbarrows of money or something to buy it.
Exactly. More money to buy the same thing. You know, the object stayed the same now. It stayed static. But it takes more dollars to buy it. And the folks are already strapped. So what's going to happen? After a while, the bubble going to burst. It don't work. It can't work. It won't work. The stock market is going to collapse because it's being artificially inflated by the dollars of the world bankers. They got boys buying and selling all day and making people believe it's all right. But when they collapse it, it's going to drop out. Everything's going to go haywire. And all of a sudden, tanks on the street and the martial law is instituted because the people are going to go berserk. The Philippines already had flashes of it. They had to put that down because the Philippines were getting ready to riot the other day. It's flashing all over the world. You got hot spots all around the world because it's drying up. When people cannot eat and they don't know how to make it, they're going to begin to revolt. They're going to rise up. They're making plans for this revolution already because they know it's going to come. Why you think they had tea parties on April 15th in this country? Tax day. Roll with tax, roll with burden. That's the rustling in the wind. Now you see it's happening. So now they're going to implode it. It's going to drop out and go away. Come back again with a whole nother system, whole nother playing field. Don't worry about inflation because there ain't no money now. We ain't using dollars anymore. We're going to set the price of stuff so it's affordable. But there's only one catch. You can't buy or sell. You got the mark of the beast, the number of the beast, or the number of his name. We got you. We got you taken care of. We got a plan. It's going to work. All these high prices are coming down. We're going to level the playing field globally. But there's only one thing that you must have. The mark of the beast, the number of his name, or the number of the beast. Now you got to have one of those three to buy. In other words, you got to be committed to and faithful to this system. And what is going to be the earmark? See, this is what people are missing, the mark of the beast. This is the key. You got to have a false god you worship. This is why rap is inundated with Egyptian worship and false god worship. This is why Beyonce sings Ave Maria at her concert in homage to Mary. Standing there half naked, almost naked, singing Ave Maria with a wedding gown on that you can see right through. Really, she got just a wraparound, see-through thing on her bottom and all your panties basically and a little top on with a wedding veil on, singing Ave Maria, homage to Maria. And she changed the words of Ave Maria to accommodate worship in female form and herself. But why did she do that? That ain't helter-skelter. She has been told the way to make millions and millions of dollars is to be a conduit for the worship of false gods. Make idolaters. Who must. See, when you came to this thing, girl, you talking about Jesus Christ and praying. You ain't going to make no money that way. They got that girl behind closed doors and told her, you ain't going to make any money talking about Jesus Christ and worshiping God. You can forget that. But if you turn people toward their base carnal desires, sexual lust, perversion, homosexuality, drinking, boozing, partying, being a player, a baller, that kind of stuff, you become a millionaire because you're going to be feeding the base appetites of idolaters. They're going to lift you up as a queen, and you'll become filthy rich. And just like they said, she's doing it. She joined herself to a base man who is a mason, who has already given his soul to Satan, joined together with this person, and now they set themselves up as a queen and king of idolatry. Goal being to turn people away from Jesus Christ at all costs toward the gods we worship, so as to make us rich. This is why Oprah talks about the inner voice. And I don't believe in one God, and all this stuff. Look how everybody's been exalted always talks about all religions being the same. Obama will tell you there's not one way to get to God. Everything is valid. Hindus, Buddhists, Islam, Jews, everything. God has come up with a myriad of ways to worship Him. But that ain't Bible. There's only one way given, only one name given amongst men whereby ye must be saved. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. I'm the only doorway to the Father. That's it. So what the devil do? He set up matriarchal worship. The worship of a goddess. And in the temple of the goddess, they had a female vulva set up as a icon to worship. What's a vulva? You lay down and have a baby on the operating table, and you getting ready to have a baby. When you open your legs for the baby to come out, you're looking at a vulva. The outer lips of the vagina, the inner lips of the vagina, above the top of the inner lips, the clitoris sitting there, and then you got the vaginal channel opened up. That's a vulva. That's what they set up in the temple for them to pay homage to bow to the vulva. This is why Beyonce got a hunch in your face and grind in your face and be like a Great Dane dog on the stage. That ain't about anything but worshiping her vulva. That's why strip joints are set up. You look up into the vulva and worship it. Why is everybody being brainwashed by the vulva? Why do you have the lesbians sitting up there? You can't get a guy to the strip joint now for the lesbians sitting up in the strip joint. The guy can't even elbow his way through the lesbian to get to the stage and put in a dollar bill. Why? They're paying homage to the vulva. What's that all about? It makes perfect sense. Mankind's life came from God. God, in tribute to the woman, named her life. Now notice now, God gave life to Adam and then gave him a helpmeet and named the helpmeet life. The word Eve means life. What was he making her? The co-author of life. He was going to let her conceive life, carry life, birth life, and sustain life through breastfeeding. That was an honor. God was saying, I'm the creator of life, but in tribute to do and honor you, I'm going to let you be a co-author and a helper to bring forth life with me. And the Holy Spirit, as a type of a representation of a mother, was the imagery of a woman's physical being to help author life. Cut mankind off from God. Dead in his senses so he doesn't recognize God. What's he looking for? His source of life. So with no God and a woman sitting there, he's looking up in that birth canal thinking, that's where my source of life is. That's my life. Right here. Tuna. Mom. A vagina. A stank vagina had become God. And above all of that, it's this huge monolithic cherubim laughing his head off. I got these fools groveling at the feet of a stinking vagina and calling it God. So they worship effeminate guys, sissies, lesbians, Ellen DeGeneres, Elton John, and now you get a drug pusher from Bedford-Stuyvesant in New York, a drug pusher who shot his brother at 12 years old, stabbed a guy in a bar a few years ago. $350 million a year Jay-Z is worth. And you know Jay-Z is short for Jehovah. He calls himself Jehovah, the master MC, the God MC. He took the name of Jehovah to get the worship of God, became a Mason, so he always makes that triangle on stage to curse the audience and look through that triangle with his left eye. And you know that the left eye on the triangle is actually the eye of a woman. So the imagery is Jay-Z is this Jehovah God, and his mistress, Beyonce, is basically his concubine or the person he travels with to be his tool to promote himself. He's pimping her to channel the worship through her upstream to the devil. And he broke her mind down, offered her all these kingdoms in a moment of time if you'll bow down and worship the same gods I do. That girl had to forsake Christianity, forsake Jesus Christ, and now she talks like a babbling brook, having been driven insane. Had to create an alter ego because in her own mind she couldn't do it. She created this Sasha Fierce girl because in her own mind she didn't have the tools available in her own mind and her own psyche to do this filthy trash. So she had to escape into a fantasy world, create an alter ego to do this filthy mess she's doing. And now she's a babbling brook. People ask her questions that are just like a little child, babbling.
And she never answers the question.
Because she's driven into madness. This is madness. Mm-hmm. And the world wonders after it as if this is something big. It's nothing but Egyptian God and goddess worship and idolatry at its highest level. And the devil doling out money. The boy worth $350 million. He owns restaurants. He owns part of the New Jersey Nets. He owns a clothing line, Rockaway. He sold that for $120 million, but still got a big share in it. He make $82 million a year from all of his different mess that he's got going on. None of it with any meaning. All of it stupid, but just billowing. Because the devil is paying him what the Bible calls what? The reward of iniquity. The Bible calls it the reward of iniquity. When you lead the people into idolatry and worship of this imagery, the devil doles out the money to reward you for doing it. The kids are now the victims of it. Look at them. That's the results of idolatry we're looking at. That's the results of idolatry. The music, the environments they live in, how they see life, their perceptions of reality, that's the brain dead results of idolatry. What else could you become but a stink, nasty dog walking down the street with your pants hanging down to your knees, tattooed from head to toe, 2 earrings on? I mean, a lot of these guys, you look at some of these Christian so-called singers, they got makeup on their eyes, they got eyeshadow on, they're arching their eyebrows. Ooh, somewhere, I think me and Tim were looking at Puff Daddy on TV. Saying that dude got some eyeshadow or something? Got his eyes all done up and dark around it. What is this dude doing? They're effeminate. Why? Because they worship a vagina. What's spewing out of vagina? It's spewing out the filth that transforms you into an alter ego, into something that you shouldn't be. It perverts you. It changes you into the antithesis of what God made you to be. You want to see a little boy go crazy? Let him have some sex for the first time. Go crazy. He worshipped the vagina. And see, the imagery of the Bible is, whatever you worship, you become it. That's a young man. I said, that ain't a young man. That's a vagina right there. This is my daughter. That ain't your daughter. That's a vagina. Look at her. Tight clothes, everything exposed, breasts hanging out. No draw. Why the girl don't wear no draw? Vagina. Their minds have been saturating in this and taking over. That's not dancing. That's the cult gyrations of a worshiper in a temple.
That's right.
It got nothing to do with dancing. Nothing. Why did Britney Spears show the whole world her vagina? Because she knew that those worshippers of a vagina would lock on it and pay homage to her now. They go to concerts just to see what she'll do. They go to see, Beyonce will be here July 1st down at Phillips Arena. They're going to pack out Phillips Arena to see how far she'll take it.
She gonna take it.
I want to see that, man. She get out there with all that hunching. See that, man. You be on the front with binoculars trying to zero in. Telling your butt, hey, I saw a pubic hair. Something came out the side of that little swimsuit she wearing. Hey, a pubic hair showing. Let me see the binoculars. Crazy. In a strip joint, waiting for the girl to squat down on the table just to get a glimpse of her vagina. Walking around, everybody showing you the crack of their butt. You go in the bathroom, look at the crack of your own butt. It's almost like people waiting with bated breath and amazement on TV shows, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and Fox, to see somebody naked doing something. This is crazy. That's what's spinning through the earth. The death of the world is occurring from something this debased and this filth and this crazy that you would never believe this is what it is until somebody showed it to you through this Bible. What has actually happened down here? You take this to church, you get a violent reaction to it. You know why? Because they've been saturated with the worship of this thing, taken over by it. Don't want it mentioned to them in any shape, form, or fashion. This is a cruel thing right that's been done to people's minds. And before you accost it, you must first of all understand what you're dealing with. What's got the people acting so crazy, so weird, so strange? Their minds are taken over by this thing. And it's perverting them and dry rotting their minds. The only way out? Basically, I would say all the time, you got to pray, you got to fast, you got to read. I mean, those are mechanical things you do. But the final nail driven through the skull is inside of your very loins, down in your guts. You find out when you deal with God and God begins to actually mortify you and take out of you the thing that has made you a sodomite and a pervert, there's something that's happening inside of your guts. When you go through situations, you can feel the anguish in your guts and your bowels. Your stomach is where things are being torn out of there. And once they're removed, you got to be healed up for a season until the next round when he tears out something else. But there's a metamorphosis taking place in your own bowels. A lot of times frustrations, anguish, you're going through hard times. It's doing things to you. It's shaping and molding you into another kind of a person without you even knowing it's happening to you. All you know is you feel bad and you're going through hell and this is beating me down and I can't make it and my guts are being torn out of me. But that's for the purpose of metamorphosis and transformation. What's he doing? He's actually taking out of you what you actually cared about in the world that you appended yourself to that made you an idolater. It's a removing of idols. We in America thought this was normal in the way it is. This is how you live. We've been brought up under idolatry. The idolatry of material possessions. Everybody in America, with very few exceptions, makes a value judgment of you based on what you have when they see you. The kind of car you drive, how you dress, how many diamonds you have on, where you live, what kind of house you live in. All that stuff is assessed when they meet you, trying to figure out. And they start asking you questions. Where do you work? Where'd you go to school? All that is what they're doing. They're assessing you. You know what they're assessing you for? To see if you'll be of any value to them and can they use you for something.
That's right.
That's all it's for. They got to find out, can I use you? How can I get into this thing and be a part of it and be on the team and get some of the money and all that kind of stuff. That's why God will keep the church hidden. Every time God hides the church, he hides them as slaves or with nothing. So folk don't want to have nothing to do with them folk. They don't have nothing to offer us. Our whole life is based on materialism and what we have and what we can get. The folk ain't got nothing to contribute. They ain't got nothing. Ignore them. And God will make you as the world ignores you. But when he turns you, when they turned back to Israel and they rebuild the wall and set that temple back up and all the gold and silver comes back in the temple and the temple begins to build it with incense again and God comes down into the temple, now we gotta shut them down. Tobiah and Sanballat didn't get word until they saw the temple being rebuilt and those walls going back up, because they knew when the Israelites came back to God and reestablished that temple and that worship of God, that God was coming down in that temple, and we can't beat them if God is with them. All the devil's trying to do is make the church into idolaters, so God won't be with the church. That's the slick plan. Don't say anything against the idolaters, so you'll be one. See, without the blood of the Lamb and the words of your testimony, you are appended and assigned as an idolater. You don't stand against idolatry, so you are an idolater. God says, look, either you gather with me or scatter against me. So when idolatry is put before you, you must stand against it. When they're talking to you, no, that ain't right. That ain't right what you say. Because they always try to take the stage and the microphone and just preach to you, tell you how it is. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I was talking to a guy the other day. Me and Tim was talking to this guy started talking about his dreams and aspirations and how the Bible is used to fulfill your dreams and this and that and the other. I said, man, ain't nobody studying your sincere dreams. Nobody cares about your dreams. The Bible is not given to fulfill your dreams. This is a warfare. We're pitted against a cherubim angel down here. We're warring for the souls of men, not to fulfill your dreams. Look, what kind of fool would go fishing and leave the fish in the ocean? You know what the false church is doing? We're called fishers of men. What they're doing, they're trying to make the ocean nice for the fish. We're trying to get fish out the ocean, and here these fools are trying to make the world a better place. We're trying to pull them out of the ocean. When you're a fisherman, you catching things and putting them on board the ship. Here you are trying to make, is the sea the right temperature for you fish? Do you need a little bit more salt in the ocean to make it better? We need a little bit more. Man, listen. We're putting fish out of the ocean. We're not trying to make the ocean better for the fish. That's the deception and the destruction of a Joel Osteen. There is no man more evil on earth than Joel Osteen right now. Look, nice curly head Joel Osteen, yes, because he stands for nothing. And to stand for nothing is to stand against God. So he sits there with his little wife and his little nice little laid back self. He'll tell you, I'm really very laid back. I really don't get into a lot of issues. I just love people. Earl Pope, 10,000 people, Kingdom Now, Chapel Hill Harvester, has a son by his brother's wife. The boy takes over the church. It dwindles down from 10,000 to 1,000. Now the boy is saying, I'm open to homosexuals and lesbians. I want to be diverse. And he's a partner with Carlton Pearson, who says, everybody's saved. Whether you be Hindu, Buddhist, or whatever religion you are, you're saved. We're all God's children. How did Carlton Pearson, brought up in a Church of God and Church of God in Christ environment, get over to wacky land? Because one of my friends was a homosexual and I just couldn't see him going to hell. So you downgrade the gospel to accommodate your sissy friend? Why? Because you got it in you. Catamites and sodomites and effeminate people downgrade the gospel to accommodate the masses. That's why we must be transformed to walk with God. We got to shred this sodomite snake skin and come up out of here. This ain't just helter-skelter. If you take a step back and look at the world at large, you can see it real plain. Everybody exalted is an idolater and leads the people into idolatry of a foreign God. Check it out. Every rock and roll star, every hip hop star, you're not going to find them representing Jesus Christ and saying anything about Jesus and holding up the banner of righteousness in Jesus Christ and maintain that stardom. Little girls who come on the radio on 104.7 and 93.3, Kelly Clarkson and these kind of girls, they come through American Idol as Christians. Man, by the time they get through those girls, I think one of them got a song now called something about a lollipop. The girl's on the cover. I think it's Kelly Clarkson licking a lollipop. Talking about love without you sucks or something like that. And so anybody who knows where the word sucks come from, and somebody says this sucks, they're talking about sucking a penis. So the devil makes sure he got to downgrade your status as this supposed Christian before he lets you go. The more you go into the idolatry, and the more you defame Christ, and the more you debase yourself before the devil, the more he exalts you. He lifts you up based on how filthy you are. The nastier you are, whether it's publicly or behind the scenes, if he knows he has that filth in you, he'll begin to raise you up. Because you are a conduit for worship to himself. You're just like he is. And as the people worship you, by proxy they worship him through you as an idolater. Boy, if you look around that rap industry and the hip-hop industry, it's full of idolaters. Tupac even came out before he died and started to expose some of the guys who were homosexuals. Some of the record producers wanted to bend him over this and sodomize and move him up. A lot of guys took that. You want to be a star? I'm a producer. I can make you a star. But you got to drop them drawers and bend over this desk to be introduced to the world of stardom. A lot of guys did it because they wanted the money and the stardom. Happens in churches. You want to be the preacher's boy? I done had guys come to me and preachers in their studies and put them over this and try to sodomize them. But okay, I won't sodomize you, but let me just at least have oral sex with you, boy, because I like doing that to guys. The preacher with an appetite to have oral sex. And in the pulpit preaching every week, sodomizing boys left and right and making them his right hand and left hand man. And then finally branching off a church for them. And the sissy lineage continues downstream as he sodomizes them. You know how many guys have been sodomized by Roman Catholic priests and themselves became priests? Because their lover was a priest and they became a priest to be up under their lover in the rectory. What a name for where the priests live. They live in a rectory. A rectory, and to pay homage to the rectum. See, that's crazy. Nuns in a convent. Pack of lesbians living together and a pack of sissies living together and calling it some kind of, they're just Babylonian priests and priestesses. That's all they are. They represent Babylon, Semiramis, and Tammuz and the worship of a perverse system, and they become that thing. And then they elect a pope based on him being able to sit as king over the sodomites. You say that to a Roman Catholic, and a blind man can see this. So all we can do right now is to just keep in a place where God is working on the inside until he's ready to move. When he goes, know what you're fighting against. Don't feel offended. Don't feel put off by the hatred. You're saved as many as you can. And it's not going to be conversational salvation anymore. It's going to be power salvation. You're going to save them with power. They'll be mad and fuming. But it's going to be a contingent of people turning to God by the power. Faith will stand in power. The Bible says the only way faith stands is the demonstration of the power. So as God uses you as a conduit because you've been cleaned out so he can flow through you, power salvation will be occurring. They'll be hating you. They don't even matter. He says basically ignore them. What does the chaff have to do with the wheat? If people stand against the gospel, ignore them. Don't keep drawn over to debate with them. It's to be distracted away from the mission.
That's right.
They don't want it. Forget them. Relatives, friends, family members. Forget them. We're here to save God's people. Obviously, they're not God's people.
That's right.
You got feelings all in you, all enmeshed in them. And you don't have time for that. Everything outside of Israel is a Gentile. God knows those that are his. He's not going to burn my time and you sending you out after people who don't want it. I got to align myself with God so I can go after the people that he knows will come to him and he wants. That'll stop a whole lot of suffering and a whole lot of wasted time on your part if you just get focused in on what God wants and you go where the Spirit leads you. That's what it's all about. Demons are really inconsequential. Did you know that? Demons are small fry. They'll go away as you die to them. See, casting out demons is like a second-hand thing. You die to the arena they rule over, they will leave you because there's nothing to operate with. It's like getting sick of somebody. It's no fun anymore. You just don't. I don't want. A pornographic devil. I don't have no appetite for pornography. I don't want to see that.
He ain't no stuff.
I can't feed myself through you no more. I'm tempting you, but you dead to it. You don't care. Maybe you're going to find somebody in the playground that want to play. You ain't got no kind of life. You ain't no fun no more. You're dead. It's like your friend do. Your friend full of demons and you don't do what they're doing no more. It ain't them that leave you. It's the demons in them that leave you.
That's right.
You ain't no fun no more. All you talk about is Jesus. Demons don't want to fool around with no Jesus, and the people who cohabitate with demons don't want to fool around with Jesus. Don't be offended if they don't want to be around you. Sinners don't stay around Jesus because they worship other gods. It's all about what God you worship. That's all it is. Every star in the media is worship based on what demons are in the people. When you load with a certain level of a devil, like for instance, I use Beyonce because she's the one they're putting out there right now. And when you load with that level of a devil, every devil that's subject to that devil must worship her. They must. So the tabernacle, the people that carry those demons are commanded to worship that devil and her because Satan has commanded it to be so. So you must pay homage to them. See, you don't have any say-so in this. You like a particular star and you're drawn to a particular arena. It's because you worship the gods of that arena. And Satan has commanded the spirits in you to tell your mind to turn your affection toward that particular person because that's where that fallen angel or that lifted up one of that Nephilim is housed, and you're commanded to pay homage to them. They stand up on the stage and you grovel at the feet down in the audience, applauding and paying homage and lifting your hands to the spirit in that person. Every concert is a worship service. It's nothing but, all you can have down here is worship services. TV shows, worship service. Everything, movies, worship service. Everything is designed for worshiping false gods. Any God but the true Jesus Christ. And you can only know him in spirit and in truth and in reality. No fantasy allowed here. You can't make believe here. That's why when you're told something point blank and it's truth, when you are seeking Jesus, it don't offend you 1 inch. See, that's how you can tell if somebody really seeking Jesus. When you tell them point blank, butt naked, unadulterated truth, they don't flinch. They nod their head. You know, that's right. That's true right there. That's the truth. Somebody that's offended by the truth, they worship another God. And the Jesus, they say they worship Jesus, another Jesus, another spirit, another gospel. It ain't the Jesus of the Bible. That's why he says, I am the way, the truth that leads to eternal life. You leave that truth out of there. If you're offended by the truth, you don't worship Jesus Christ. The only question I ever ask is this true? If it's true, I'll bow the knee to it. If it ain't true, you disregard it. Somebody that's offended by truth, man, you better mark that person real fast. You tell a person, look, you're empowering a homosexual man when you grovel. If you fornicate with a man, you're empowering a homosexual man because you got a lesbian spirit. I don't think that's it. Oh, I see you around. I see you around. Because you don't want to acknowledge what it is that's got you bound. There has been nothing on earth more treacherous and deadly than Roman Catholicism. That's the mother of harlots. That's the queen bee. That thing right there, boy, it might take you your whole life to fight out of that thing. If you pay homage in that system, praying those Hail Mary prayers, you paying homage to Semiramis and Tammuz. You were there taking communion with the thing, giving homage to the devil. You went through the sacraments and went through the confirmation of being one. That one, you weren't just a Catholic. You confirmed the fact you were a Catholic. All the vows, all the sacraments, all the catechism classes, taking on the alter ego through confirmation. You had to take a confirmation name on that brought in the demon that had another name other than yours. All this stuff going on, all the amulets, all the statues, all the incense billowing, putting the imagery of death on your head every Ash Wednesday, every year you put that black ash on your head, paying homage to demons and the dead, which is nothing but necromancy, and all this stuff you believed about purgatory and all the junk that they ingrained in your soul, all because you were a pervert and looking for a false god to worship. That's all it was. You had a perverted spirit in you because you saw it didn't stop fornication. Roman Catholicism didn't stop fornication. It didn't stop oral sex. It didn't stop no perversion that you went and did. You flowed with it while being a Roman Catholic. No barrier came up to say, this is wrong, this is not right, this is sin. How could it just flow like that? Most Roman Catholics joke about sin. Most Roman Catholics are world citizens. They promote movies. They read the books of the world. They have no resistance to anything in the world. You notice them. Watch them. They don't abhor and hate sin. They embrace sin along with their Roman Catholicism. That's the telltale sign. Baptists do it by saying once saved, always saved. Then they embrace sin. Look, we're going to stand against this thing hardcore. You read Essence Magazine and Ebony. Women bishops, women apostles everywhere. In the black church, and it's everywhere now. Homosexual apostles, homosexual bishops, lesbians, and all these freaks everywhere talking about they represent God. We're going to come against that thing with such a force. It's going to offend them. They're going to hate it. They're going to be riled up. There is no viciousness like the viciousness of an idolater. That's what Jesus ran into in his day, because they were all idolaters. They worshipped another god. The Pharisees and Sadducees didn't represent God anymore. They represented themselves and the Roman Empire. And Jesus slammed right into them. He didn't mince any words. He just slammed right into it. In the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, the Sodomites were idolaters. They worshipped another god. When somebody came who was reverentially submitted to the real God, we got to make of them what we are, to put out that light. So what we got to do is be inflamed. The way to call forth the power of God and to inflame yourself is to speak up in austere conditions and stand against everything that's wrong. If somebody's going to say something about it, it's going to be me. You'll find on any job anywhere you go, they're going to look to you and know. I know they're going to say something. I know you're going to say something. I know they're going to say something. I was in a room the other day. This is a small thing. This is a lady we work with. That's the church lady that knows everything. A Jezebel spirit, big old witch, you know. And she was saying something to me about putting some keys in at a certain place. I made this key to go on that over there, and somebody moved it. You're referring to me, you know, 'cause she figured I had done it. I made the key to go right here, and this key is supposed to go on this particular bus. So I want this key on that bus, this and the other, because this is the key I made for that bus. Now you got about 30 buses. Every key fits every bus the same. Now look how stupid that is. Now that's crazy in and of itself. The lady sitting right here in one chair, another lady sitting in another chair. She telling me all this junk. I'm listening for about 2 minutes to it. Now I said, let me ask you a question. Did the key start the bus? I said, you did all that with that key to fit that particular bus. She put a little thing on it, put the number of the bus on it. For that bus, 30 keys fit 30 buses the same. It don't make no difference. You can grab a handful of keys and crank up every bus with that one key. It was a witch. All she wanted was the control of me to do what she told me to do. I asked her, I said, look, another lady sitting here, she's sitting there. I said, look, did the key start the bus? Whatever bus it was on, did it start up? No, the other lady said? Guess what she might have said. The lady who I wasn't talking to, what do you think she said? Huh?
She might have said, well, that ain't the key. She wanted you to start it with that key.
Oh no, it was something that tried to, calm it down.
Oh.
You know what she said? Why you want to start something with her? Don't start nothing with her. You know what that was?
Because she was in with her.
Cause she coddled her, Nobody stands against this woman like that. And you got the audacity to say something to her like that. Now why you want to start something with her now? Just go on out the door. Don't be starting nothing up in here. Now wait a minute.
Answer the question.
Wait a minute, this is what I'm saying. She was talking to me for 2 minutes. Why wouldn't she start something with me?
Exactly. She didn't stand up for you, did she?
That's that spirit. It will stand up for that matriarchal ruler every time.
Every time.
And if you address it with authority, especially as a man, why are you starting something? Remember Ahab? Elijah?
Yeah.
You calling it. No, you got this woman that come and lead everybody to idolatry. You know they land up on the high places fornicating like dogs. They're committing sin like animals. They're perverts. You know Jezebel's a pervert because of what she's doing to you, Ahab. And I'm causing trouble? That's like the Sodomite judge at the Miss America pageant, calling that girl all those names. And he the one somewhere being sodomized, being treated like a dog by day and by night, doing all this perverse stuff. And she's dumb. How can you even have the word dumb come out of your mouth toward any individual on earth when you have no moral authority to say anything about anybody? If they ever say anything to me, I'm going back to your life. Well, before you call me a name, let's look at your life. Let's examine you. You supporting Roman Catholics sodomizing folk left and right, $2.6 billion in reparations and restitution for doing all this stuff to people and sodomizing young altar boys. What are you talking to me for? Before you talk to me, you get out of that. Then you have moral authority to talk to me. No moral authority. That's going to be my saying from here on out. You have no moral authority to address me. Till you stop doing what you're doing, you can't correct me. It's like somebody coming here fornicating and trying to tell you how to live.
That's right.
No moral authority. No moral authority. Sorry, I got to disregard you. You got no moral authority. You got to have the moral authority to address sin. You got to live right to preach righteousness.
That's right.
See, we got to stop all this. Everybody got to take, everybody got to say so, everybody got to dictate. And it's strange how when people start committing sin, they start getting real quiet all of a sudden. Sin and quietness go together. You know, you're in the arena, everybody just looking all crazy. Then you say something, but they'll never agree.
No.
Remember when Elijah addressed them and they answered them not a word?
A word.
Sin and quietness go together when you're sinning.
They go together.
But when he confronted them, the fire fell, the Lord, he is God. They said that out of fear.
That's right.
They saw that fire come down. Oh, I believe the Lord is God. I was always thinking the Lord was God all along. I just didn't want to say it. I wasn't ready to come out and say it like the Lord is God, buddy. I was telling you last week, one, that the Lord is God. You see that? Now they're in. They're in now because faith stands in power.
That's right.
He said, okay, you think the Lord is God? Kill all of them. Kill everything in sight. And then you get to the queen bee. She show up. I'm going to kill you like you killed my boys. She had laid up with every one of those guys. She had made sure that every one of those guys was inside of hers. That's why they sat at her table eating with her. Jezebel was a dog. Jezebel was an animal. If you think these stars in Hollywood and these singers and these folk that's hunching and punching ain't doing filthy trash on the side, you're crazy. Most of these girls that get with these rappers and stuff, rappers don't deal with women like you and I do. Rappers make women pass around packs. All the boys lay with those women. Those women service the rappers. They can marry a girl and give the girl to their homeboy, their dogs. I want you to be with my boys tonight. Be talking to their wife. If that wasn't true, you wouldn't have a guy. You heard a woman who got shot by this guy that was a medical student up in Boston or whatever. He found a girl on Craigslist, went to the hotel room. She was advertising herself as a masseuse. Tried to argue with the guy. He ended up hitting in the head with a gun and shooting her 2 or 3 times and leaving her dead. Her husband was next door. In the room next door. He was pimping her. Or what happened was, one of the girls who didn't get away, this is what happened. One of the girls who he didn't kill. Exactly. Her husband was next door and came into the room to stop him before he hurt the girl. And he ran with the gun. But see, what happened was, her husband is pimping the wife. You got a lot of that. A lot of these guys are married to the women they pimp. Jay-Z is one example. There's no normal guy on earth that's letting his wife do what that girl is doing on that stage. No way.
That's right.
Girl, if you don't put your clothes on and stop hunching your behind that full face like that, you better squatting all down showing your private parts to folk. If you don't get yourself off that stage, you better, I'm ashamed of you. That guy got no indignation, no feeling about that.
Because he don't care about it.
He care about the boys and how he look for the boys, the homeboy. See that bad babe up there I got doing all that for me? And the guy glorying in it.
Babe. You call the other B word.
See, the guy glorying in it. You on top of your game, man. Man, you got that hoe out there doing that. Well, that hoe making some money too, ain't you, man? Hoe making money, man. That hoe doing it. Well, you all right, boy. Passing around the 40 ounce and smoking a joint together. And the girl just empty-headed moron. Dragging around. It's in high school. You got boys, players, and pimps in high school. Them guys running 5, 6 girls in high school. The girl bring their money to a 12th grade and a 10th grade in high school. You better not pay them an allowance. Where your money going, girl? I bought a few things. She giving that money to a 12th grade boy in high school. With her allowance she get from home. To be part of his entourage. The boy learned to pimp in the 12th grade, running 10th and 9th grade girl under him. And the girls hang together, proud of the fact I one of his girls. This is a sad scenario we painting down here right now. Somebody got to slam this thing with some heat. I pray every day, God. We see it, we got it, we locked and loaded. The target is plain. All we need now is the resources to strike out. But his promise is he'll do the drawing, he'll do the exalting. That's what he said. I'll do the drawing, I'll do the exalting, I'll do the financing, I'll handle it all. Give me a body to work with. Now this is what he promised. He put the body on the altar. I'll do the work. Give me a body and see what I work. Jesus gave him a body, he worked. If the guy give him one, he'll work. Everybody in the Bible that had power with God gave him a body. Here, take the body. He worked. That's all we got left. You can't bring nothing else to him. All you got left is the body. You might as well throw that off on the pile too. You done tried everything else. Give me a body, I'll work. Because man, this right here, a human being can't solve these problems. Too intense, too far gone, too crazy. This perverse spirit has inundated the human race, flushed them. Economic depravity is here. Trying times are here. The Bible talks about that you'll be able to stand in the evil day, but this is the evil day. This is it. They've invoked the devil and his entourage to come down, and they've obliged them. They've come down hot. So my thing is, hey, ain't no sense in me going to try to fight no devil. I might as well just, here's the bodyguard. You do what you want to with it. I'm through. I'm clocking out of here. The thing to do now is run for your life and get out of here and give them a body to work through. And don't think, wait for the dreams and the visions to come to show you what to do. Because there's no way to outthink this mess, man. The devil's mind is like a huge semiconductor computer that you can't outthink that thing. You got to plug in past it in the heavens and let the mind of Christ think. Because you can't outthink the devil. The devil's a cherubim angel. Wingspan probably cover his whole house twice over. You can't fool around with that thing, man. He's too big. He's too crazy. That's the hand we've been dealt. This is the day right here, a day of idolatry. Remember, there's one thing from this lesson. For the devil to rule, he must turn societies into idolaters. He finds a way to make the people worship false gods through the media presentations, through the music, through everything he does is designed to get false gods worshipped. Because if you worship Jesus alone, he has no power. He must make you an idolater. The primary way is the debauchery of the world. If that doesn't pan out, he'll switch it over to the church. And he'll have you worshiping a false Jesus in the church, another Jesus, another gospel, another spirit. 2 Corinthians 11:4. You'll worship another imagery that's not Jesus. That imagery is Semiramis and Tammuz. That's who they're calling Jesus. That guy crying out to Jesus and lining hymns this morning in the Baptist church is crying out to Tammuz. Singing those songs. A charge to keep, a charge to keep. He's singing the Tammuz. Because there's so much filth in that church, it'll dry rot a dog's eyeballs. Just look at that stuff. You can't do that, man, and be crying to Jesus and singing to Jesus.
That's right.
All this stuff is nothing more than singing to Tammuz and Semiramis and honoring and glorifying them. A witch or harlot that reigns over the religious systems. Now, if you finally clear that and get to the real Jesus and become patriarchal, whether you're male or female, and you honor a father finally and you get your soul cleared, now you become a vessel fit for the master to use. Now you become dangerous to the devil. And the same devil that once tried to gratify you and appease you and play with you and seemingly care about you will turn on you. And you can now it's easy to track this. I can tell you how you track it. You watch how people in your family turn on you. You watch, see, that's another spirit. They're not turning on you for all the reasons they're giving. Those are all ulterior motives. That's not real. It's because you won't bow the knee to Semiramis. You won't bow the knee to Tammuz, and they don't like you. That spirit in them knows you don't worship the same God they do. Although they call him Jesus, it's not the same God. If it was, you'd be on one accord and you'd be unified.
That's right.
Somebody got the wrong Jesus. Either it's you or them. And my thing is, I'm going to put my apples in this bag that we got the right one. Cause hey, I don't feel no affinity toward that one.
That's right.
If I'm wrong, I'm going with this. Well, what I believe, I'm gonna go with this. Cause I see everything else will make you a sodomite.
That's the truth.
I'm gonna roll with this.
That's the truth.
The thing is, love not the world, not the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. The love of the Father. Look how the world's put against the Father. It's the world versus the Father. So that means I gotta extricate myself from everything of the world. Because the world makes me not love the Father.
That's right.
I look at people. People judge everything by material possession.
Everything.
Everything. They wondering what you got, how you got it or whatever, and how can I get some of it. Everybody that calls you on the phone want to sell you something. They want to know what you got and how can I get some of it. Every store, every car lot, everybody selling houses, everybody selling shoes. How can I get some of what you got? That's all they're interested in. You walk in the shoe store, how can we get that money out of your pocket and ours? That's all they care about. They'll call you sir and ma'am and may I help you to get that money out of your pocket into theirs. The people who work there, you pay their salary by buying that stuff. That's why they care about you.
That's it.
If you stop caring about them, they hate you. When they are giving accolades, and you notice how they never call in a real person to discuss anything on TV. Larry King Live, Bill O'Reilly, they're calling all these little fake folk. Well, we're going to have T.D. Jakes in to talk about religion in America today. They ain't going to call nobody that's going to really tell them the real deal now because, hey, you don't care about them. I don't care. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't like George Bush or Obama. I don't like nobody. I don't like myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't like nothing, nowhere, no kind of way. All this needs to be burned up. When you like that, they don't know what to do with you. You're crazy at that point because you don't care about life. You don't care about a good life. No, we're trying to end this hellhole and bring it to an end. That's it. When you like that, man, you got nobody that's on the page with you except another saint that's trying to accomplish the same purposes. And so we getting rufflers in the wind. You know, somebody emailed this week want to know where we meet at over the internet. I got a letter in my pocket from a guy that's a chaplain down in Florida asking for help to service 2,000 inmates because Florida doesn't give him a budget. Can I help him? Can I do something for him? Can you send me some books? Send me some tapes? Send me something to help these boys. See, these folk are out there and they need help. And God has to supply what we need to get the job done. The folk are beginning to dry rot on the vine now. You're talking about white for harvest. Now the fields are rotting because they've been in the field too long. We got to get them out the field, God. We got to bring them in. Because these folk rotting on the vine. The mind can get into a level of depravity that you can't reach it. Let's slam it to the mind now and give them something to look at other than this. Because this is reached rock bottom. He's letting the pillars of society fall out. They can't hold on no more. They don't have anything. It's over. Folk are in duress and distress. Attitudes are because they're under so much pressure. These folks going to the prom last night, the parents are under. They don't have anything. They'll tell you, I'm just barely getting a person enough to get a little dress from the second-hand store. And got enough money to give them a little dinner for, stuff like that, but I ain't got nothing like that. This prom mess, I'm just trying to get this mess out of my way. Because I don't have it, and I'm just trying to get it riding in cars, piled in there like sardines trying to get to the prom because nobody got nothing extracurricular now to throw at nothing nowadays, man. They trying to survive. Folks have gone into a survival mode. And when you start trying to survive, something about that, you get real.
Yes.
You're not living for the city anymore and trying to look for people. You get for real all of a sudden now. I don't have time to play with you. You don't hear nobody tell no jokes. Look, I ain't got time to be laughing with you and playing with you. They get short with you. Don't start all that playing up in here. Oh, you were just laughing and joking. Look, I ain't down for no playing. I thought you was pretty funny. Look.
That was good.
You know what I'm saying? Folk are getting for real now because they're serious now, see. They're losing their stuff. Folk who build houses losing those houses. The bank taking them back. Banks are going out of business. Foreclosures running rampant on big builders. Folk done built $600,000, $700,000 houses and they losing them, foreclosing on them. They don't want to play. They don't want to be joking with you now. Well, let's just have a glass of lemonade and Reminisce. I don't want to talk about nothing in the past. I don't want to talk about nothing like that. Perfect environment to save folks. Just like a shotgun blast. Hit them in the head with a 2x4. Lose this tact and all this other junk. Lose that. Just 2x4 to the head. Shotgun blast to the face. They can take it.
Yeah, they can.
Don't let all that. I don't know. That's lying. That's game. Y'all the mess they've done, they can take the shotgun blast to the face. The gospel is a double-barrel shotgun. Tell them the truth. Stop being scared of the ramifications. Tell them the truth. The person that you thought might fire you might be the person that gets saved because you were scared to tell them. But Mr. Johnson, I think he might let me go about. Man, that guy might say, I've been looking for somebody to tell me something. I'm about to go crazy up in here every day. What you just say? What was that you just said? And learn to use the internet and the website as a ministry tool. It's an evangelistic tool. Go and listen to these last 4 tapes from the last 4 weeks. They'll double back with you on that and say, I never heard none. I didn't even know. Now you got a doorway in. See, we got tools, but we got to use the tools. The website is sitting right there dormant, just looking around, waiting. Man, direct them over there. You can't talk to some people for 2-3 hours at a time. Go to this website, write it down for them, go here tonight, and listen to the last 3 messages. That'll be enough to get them rolling. And once they get in, and once the truth start working on them, man, they'll start looking for you. They'll start wondering what's going on, and how do I get this, and what do I need to do, and all that will start taking place. We got to start using the tools. Tools, man. We got tools. We got to use them. We don't have a lot of time to do this. I'm just asking God, look, God, get the rest of this, whatever is it. If it's anything in me, I don't even think about what's in me, because I don't even want to think about all that. If it's something in me, get it out of me. Club it to death and move it out. We got to get rolling. I'm not one of these people that can continually go through self-evaluation forever. Right. What's wrong with me? Well, see, the reason why, it must be something left in us. Ain't nothing left in me. He got to show it to me. See, until then, ain't nothing in me.
That's right.
He revealed it to me, something in me. He don't reveal it to me, I'm going forth like ain't nothing there.
Right.
That's how you got to attack this. There ain't nothing wrong with me until God says there's something wrong with me. If he don't say nothing to me, I'm taking for granted I'm all right. Roll with that. Instead of always, I don't want to go because I still deal with a little bit of pride. Well, burn it off out there in the field.
That's what
Once they beat you enough and slap you around, you'll lose the pride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm dealing with lust. Well, once those whores start spitting on you and slapping you in the face and scratching your eyeballs out, you'll lose the lust. So you ain't looking at, see, the only reason you don't say that because you're looking for somebody to accept you and you like how they look or you want to get close to them. And look, man, you fire off at them, they'll stop. That same lady was trying to be funny with me about those keys. Now she walk around me like I'm an enemy, looking all crazy and going on. Hey, look, lady, stop acting crazy. You try to find secondary thing to bring up to control people because you want to be worshipped. You want me to bow down? I'm not bowing down to you. See, you got to walk around like that. I'm not bowing down to anybody but Jesus Christ. You worship only Him. That's it. Like Tim was saying, went to a job interview. A guy asked him in the interview, what do you like least about your present job? So he said, well, I don't feel nothing about the job one way or the other. It's a job. I don't dislike it. I don't like it. I go and do it every day and I go home. We can't hire you. Well, immediately we got to scratch his name off the list. Why? Because you don't have enough fervor and energy about the job. You don't care like we want you to care. We want you to be absorbed in the job. The job has to mean something to you. When I threaten you, you got to jump because you're so caught up in it. But when you show that it's not a lack of or desire to do the job, is that it's not your God.
Exactly.
I come here properly dressed. I do the job that I'm assigned to do. And I go home. It's kept in the proper perspective. But I ain't going to stay here all night talking to you about the job and sitting around drinking after the job and talking about the supervisor on the job and what changes they're making in the job. And, I'm on the phone at night talking about the job and the people on the job. And they love those kind of people.
Yeah.
But all you do is you come there like what is a job. You do it, you go home. It got nothing in all that. Folks almost committing suicide because the Braves lost the game, and stuff like that. Fool, that guy makes $16 million a year. You think he's caring about this game? He out there thinking, I ain't gonna be hurting my legs sliding all hard in no third base. Shoot. My contract said if I get hurt, I lose. My contract, a lot of football contracts are based on performance, and if you get injured, you lose money.
That's right.
So before I start to dive at that ball and catch it, but then I start thinking, if I hurt my knee, and that $3.7 million in my bonus for staying physically able to operate, I let that ball go. We lost, but $3.5 million, I can't be diving in no ball. And so you try to figure out, why that fool catch? Oh, man. People can't connect the dots. They can't connect the dots. Man, why Kobe Bryant keep on shooting? Because he got a part of the contract that said if he scores X amount of points, averages X amount of points for the year, they pay him a bonus of $5 million. So the guy was wide open. The guy standing there yelling, hey, Kobe, Kobe! He just fired it up. 3-pointers. Just. Why that fool shooting? Did he see that? See, people are crazy. They don't understand. This is all game. It's all about self. These folk don't care about these guys making this kind of money. Now think about it. If you was in the world and you was out there playing, and they were paying you they're paying one guy like this guy Garcia Parro, them guys, wasn't it Momar Garcia Parro? Those kind of guys, and then this guy for the Yankees, what's his name? It was with Madonna, A-Rod. Them guys pulling down $25 to $26 million a year. Do you really think that guy get up every morning caring about this that much? He goes through the motions of playing baseball. I struck out. I didn't strike out. I hit a home run. I did. The contract don't go down not one iota based on what he just did or didn't do. You're mad in the stands because you paid $25 to get in to see him. Because the only way he's making $26 million because the ticket prices got to go up. Right. Along with the hot dog prices, $7 for a dog at the stands, all this kind of stuff. Because you got to pay a salary. They just built 2 stadiums in New York, one for the Mets and one for the Yankees. I think they're $1 billion each, aren't they? Yeah, one was $1 billion for baseball. Why? They're paying homage to the gods of this world. Sports is worship. The worship of the sports heroes is just like the Olympics. You went to the Olympics to pay homage to the gods of Olympia. That was about the gods. The teams represented the gods that they were performing for. They were competing for. This is the team for Mars. This is the team for Jupiter. That's what the Olympics were. It wasn't a team. It wasn't an Olympics based on just people competing in sports. They represented the gods. All sports is that way. That's why they make so much money. That's why they pay so much homage to them. And see, these guys don't care. They don't care. You wouldn't care if you was in the world and you was playing. All you looking forward to, if you figure now, if a guy make $26 million a year playing baseball, his check is something like somewhere between $87 and $150 million a week. A week now. I'm talking $150,000 a week. Think about that. You ain't into that like this. It destroyed little guy out here in Atlanta. Andrew Jones. He can stay at the strip joints, blowing his money. 8-9 cars parked out there now for running in the driveway. He went crazy because he was just 20 years old and hit it big, and he just went crazy. The boy in San Diego, California, leaving high school, ain't going to his 12th grade year. He going to Europe to play basketball, come back when he's 19 to be drafted into the NBA. Millionaire. They offered him millions of dollars to leave high school in 11th grade and go to Europe to play basketball. His mind is, but you got to look at it now. What good is the education anyway? All you get the education for is to make money. If you can make the money without the education, why get the education?
You can get it later.
If you want,
Get the money now.
I mean, why do you need the education?
you don't need it. You don't need it.
The only purpose for the education is to get the money.
That's right.
You ask anybody sitting in college, why are you here?
trying to get a good job.
To make money. If he can leave high school in 9th grade and make $3 million in the 9th grade, why stay in high school? Well, you need to be well-rounded. For what? All the system cares about is me making money. I'm making the money. You don't believe that? Look, Lil Wayne can walk in the store and they'll crawl all over themselves to get Lil Wayne and ignore you, and you got a bachelor's degree. Lil Wayne don't even speak English, and he's talking English and don't even speak English.
That ain't English.
You know what I'm saying? You can't tell what Lil Wayne just said. He's the #1 rapper on the scene, and you can't even tell what he just said. It's crazy. So we live in an insane asylum. We need to start treating like it's one. And just, why should we cow down to an insane asylum? Let's address the insane asylum with sanity. Tell the woman, did the bus start with the keys? That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Then you're rare and angry. What's to be angry about? Key A, key B, key C.
They all do the same.
Any one of these keys will crank this thing. Well, no, I chose A for this one. It's crazy. You're crazy. And at that point, ma'am, you are crazy. But you'll find it everywhere. It's all about controlling you. It don't have nothing to do with logic. You could be on your job and somebody tell you something absolutely crazy. It's all about controlling you. It ain't got nothing to do with the job, nothing about what they're trying to achieve. No. You cannot go use the restroom until 2 o'clock. And you got urine running down your leg because they said that. Now the person that walk away to use the restroom, write them up.
Right.
Because I told you not to leave your station until 2 o'clock. And by God, that's what I meant. Crazy. You are crazy. Control. It's all about control. The whole world's about control. And if you are not controllable, we got to mark you and start treating you with disdain. And buddy, you know what God's going to do. He's going to raise up an uncontrollable church. And he's going to tell these folk everything he's big enough to tell them and not care what they think about it. And all this he's trying to shape and mold in us is the inner character and makeup that when they vent their hatred, that you don't care. See, if you don't care, they have no impact on you. They went away rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer for the kingdom's sake. You don't care. I'm here to represent Jesus Christ. I'm here to tell you what he told me to tell you. And I don't care about your response. Man, that attitude right there is not an attitude. It's a character that must be built in you. I'm here from another kingdom, representing another king that's not of this world. And whatever you feel about him is inconsequential to me. I'm here to represent him. So you can't get worked up if they believe you or get worked up if they don't. Your job is to carry a message. You're a messenger. And I think these upcoming days are going to try everybody to see just what you're made of, you know. A lot of people folding back and turning back from this because they idolaters. They don't worship the real Jesus. They came with a mindset of joining a club, hanging around with people. And it was just jive. You know, it wasn't about marching to a war to represent a king. It was about the jive of churchianity. People who've been in church all their life who came up like in Baptist churches and other churches, all they know was just coming to church like a little gathering and fooling around and opening up the Bible, singing some songs. They didn't engage and plan on a war with a cherub the manger. I just came to join the Busy Bee Club and the Kiwanis Club and to sing a few songs and fool around. I didn't figure it's going to come to this. And they're put off by it. Because when a war is breaking out and you begin to actually pay a price for the conflict, you lose things like everybody's lost over the last few years, you find out who was in. So when you begin to get shredded up in a war, you find out who's in and who's not. If everything was going beautifully, you could never find out who's in.
No.
Because everybody could just mesh in and enjoy the spoils, enjoy the stuff and sing, and everybody would be happy, everybody would appear to be loving and kind and all that stuff because there's nothing to test anybody. But boy, in testing time, you find out who can stand the test and who's really in, and that's what we're in the middle of right now. This thing is about Semiramis and Tammuz. That's what we're warned against. That's the target. Semiramis, Tammuz, and their entourage. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and his bride, the church. And boy, whatever's going to shape and mold you, you'll find out what's in you when conflict kicks off. My thing is to begin to stand against it now. So when the conflict comes, I'm already standing. I'm in. Just keep on standing. Keep on telling it. Keep on saying what you... So when you practice saying it long, it become part of you. You don't have to think. Just say what you always say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to start thinking, look, that's a lie. Look, that ain't right. That's a bunch of junk. That's a bunch of garbage. And what you saying don't make no sense. That's food. It runs through you so much. Well, you know, I believe that the Pope is of the Antichrist. That ain't real. None of that stuff is real. That junk is a bunch of garbage. All those kids being sodomized by priests. You just roll out of you like water down a river. You just roll out because that become you. And anybody stand in front of you, just get run over. If they don't want to hear, you know, so you gotta tell them. Yeah.
Sit down and shut up.
You gotta say it so much that it becomes you. You don't have to think. Just say it. You saying what you believe. You believe what you are. And repetition ingrains it in your soul. You don't have to start thinking and start second guess yourself, get shook up and afraid. And no, man, just be you. This thing is about a casual you to just being you. You ain't got to do all that planning and talking and studying for 5 weeks to go and give a message somewhere and praying about it and fasting with the Bible on your stomach, you know. Look, man. Look.
Either it's in you or it's not.
Final word. Even if it's in you or it's not. If it ain't in you, leave it alone. But when it's in you, you don't have to spend a lot of time studying and planning stuff. I don't have to stand around all night and study the Bible to give a message. I very seldom do that. I might read the Bible, I study the Bible, but I don't depend on that to talk to people. You know, because most things are not in the Bible you got to tell people. This thing got to be life. And it's time to bring these folk in. And I believe they're right myself.
Nah, they are.
I believe they're right, man. They're sitting there just ripe peaches to be plucked off the tree. If somebody will just talk. Just talk. The Holy Ghost will talk through you. If you'll talk, He'll talk through you. But He won't make you talk. Circumstances present themselves. Pipe up. And the Holy Ghost will be there. The more you do it, the more He'll draw near to you. The more He sees that you're willing, the more He'll draw. Sooner or later, it's going to go supernatural, like going supersonic. You know, you can fly a plane at regular speed, or you can go supersonic. When it goes supersonic, the spirit going to be at a high level, burning out of your soul, and you're going to be taking people by force. Lord, we thank you for this time of sharing. Thank you for the word of God that's able to save our souls. Right now we commit this time to you, God, to change us into the image of your word, that we might have fellowship with you through that word and bring to life the Christ to these people who are in dire need of it. These people need life, the life of Jesus Christ that flows from His church. God, in these last days, as we go through these times of hardening and these times of discipline, the changes, give us the intestinal fortitude to stand in austere conditions and proclaim the truth. Give us the tools necessary to save these folk and care for these people until their minds are made normal again. God, we need what we find in Isaiah chapter 4 verse 6, a place of refuge and rehabilitation. The Bible says this, a covering from the storm and from the rain. This is what people need in order to have a chance to change. Give us what we need to get it done. And we give you the honor and glory for it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.